You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent and Austen Show.
Jags are
everybody but us, excuse my language.
Hey, big dog. Big dog, show my teeth, cause I can't stop winning. Trophies all in my case, cause I can't stop winning. Bright lights made for the soul, ain't nobody did it. Yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, I'm with it, hey, big dog.
Just a small market team.
Big dog putting in vain while the world keeps spinning. First and last, wanna lead every day.
There you go, Hamby, doing some work this morning, huh? Having some fun with this.
Low effort, high energy. That's how we're rolling today.
I like that. Very good. Merry Christmas week, everybody. And that was a heck of a present yesterday in Denver, Colorado. What a performance by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And this team of yours is on a heater right now. And Trevor Lawrence is on a heater. I think the head coach is on one, too. And it's just all good here in small market Jacksonville. As we say hello and good morning to you, and hope you enjoyed yesterday, and hope you're waking up and enjoying it. It's a great week to be able to enjoy a win like that because you have probably some extra days to do it, in most people. I'm sure not everybody's off, but a lot of people might be this week, and at least it's a low production week around the workplaces usually anyway. So enjoy it right now with all the momentum here in Jacksonville. Brent Martineau here, Jason Hamby here as well, and Austen Lane still out in, I think, Colorado. He was at the game yesterday, and I'll tell you this now, that place was rocking. That place is loud. I think you could tell on TV. I could tell from the press box it was shaking. And a lot of banging and cheering, and Austen was sitting out in it, at least for some time. How loud was it? Maybe he's not here. I thought we had him for a second.
He just dropped out.
Okay. We'll get him back in. He also told me that he had a couple of potential almost escapades.
Oh, no.
Leaving the stadium, which I've heard from some people, because I think Denver overall has a good fan base, like really, very kind of a nice fan base too, I would say. But I think there were a few outliers in there for some of the folks that we encountered that were at the game. So, cameras were shaking. Reese, that's an interest. I've brought this up before in the past. When I was a kid watching TV and you watched Mile High, and this would have been the old Mile High, and I thought it was maybe because just the way they shot the games then, because they probably had them in the stands. But the place was literally shaking when you would watch like big Patriots against the Broncos games or Dolphins against the Broncos, whatever it was. If you were watching playoff type games, the place was literally shaking. And I just went back and watched the broadcast this morning, at least first three quarters or so. And you had it again. That's how loud it is. You know what's interesting about that place? 75,000 people fit in there. That's a huge stadium. There are not that many stadiums like that big. So 75,000, hats off to them. They were really good. But it didn't matter for the Jags. Austen, what's up, man? How was it?
It was absolutely insane, man. You're not wrong. They made it a precedent of trying to make that stadium as loud as possible. Like before the pregame, there must have been like 4 or 5 PSAs from Peyton Manning. I think John Elway had one saying like, hey, this is the ultimate home field advantage. When they're in their huddle, make sure you guys make noise and everything. So it was boisterous. It's one of those stadiums where you can actually kind of feel it in your bones a little bit when they really got going. Definitely a great environment. And I thought the Jacksonville Jaguars obviously handled it like they were supposed to. And it was a very impressive win, man. A really cool thing to be a part of.
All right, just tell us a little bit from an experience standpoint, because there were a lot of Jags fans, and we had on our postgame show live on TV. We had one here too, but live on TV, all the fans had gathered down near the Jags tunnel, and it was great. It was a great scene. Reminded me a little bit of Pittsburgh in the playoffs back in 2017 when we were on the road, and all those fans stuck around for our postgame show, so that was kind of neat. But how about Ronan? But the chat wants to know, is Ronan torn? Was he cool with the Jags? Like, okay, Bo Nix, what's the deal here?
My dude had a hoodie on with a Jaguars shirt over it and a Bronco shirt under it. So like we were literally like he was riding the fence. But here's the cool thing, and this is really the cool thing for me too, because this was the first time I got to experience, really being a fan at an away game, right? And like, well, when you go to Everbank Stadium, right, and whether it's the Jets, whether it's the Chargers, and you see people like the Chargers fans crossing past and bolt up, whatever the whole thing is, you're like Jets, Jets. It's annoying as hell, right? It's like, just shut up. But then when you're the away fan at it, like in Denver, and you see a Jaguars, teal jersey or whatever in a sea of orange, you're gonna go Duval to everybody. So like that's what that was about. I think my son really appreciated that because Broncos fans just like, hey, we're in Denver, whatever. But like those few Jaguars fans that were there, everyone was shouting Duval, high five. This is before the game, even, right? So I think he saw that, and then going into the game, it was more the Jaguars than it was the Broncos.
Yeah. By the way, that's awesome, man. That he was there, got to see it, and. For all the fans. I mean, we saw people that came from sponsors on the plane to, other people that we saw. Coach Rip, who listens to the show all the time, he was out there with his mom, and Ronan be able to get that. Those are cool experiences. And listen, I was talking to Mark Lamping a little bit about this after the game, because he was even asking, like, how big a win is this in the regular season? Like, especially on the road. I had said yesterday morning, you got to go back to Pittsburgh 2007 to think of a game of this much magnitude on the road for probably both teams, right? Because there have been some other games throughout probably, but you have to have both teams having leverage, having something to play for. That's where to me, that's the difference. And the Pittsburgh one in 07 was the one I went back to for this time of year, and this late in the season, and also with leverage on the line. Well, then I talked to Gene Fournette a little bit, and he's like, no, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest regular season game since Morton Anderson. I was like, wow, really? And I didn't really even think about that one that far back. So regardless, that puts it in perspective how big of a win this was for the Jacksonville Jaguars at this time of year with the stakes the way they are, and you guys got to see it. You were there for it. Like that's what sports is all about. When you get a chance to go to a game like that and say, he'll never forget this one. I mean, you probably won't either, but he'll never forget this one.
No, without a doubt. And then, we're never going to forget leaving the stadium.
What happened?
Well, man, so like, here's the thing that I kind of come to realize, like during the first quarter, like, yes, the Jaguars had a great record, but I don't think Broncos fans really expected that to happen either. Right. And you heard Sean Payton, and we'll talk about that later with the small market stuff. Like, I feel like a lot of Broncos fans kind of felt the same way. And it really reached the crescendo.
You knocked him out? Knocked him all the way out? Oh, trying to get back in. You just popped out. We'll get you back in. This seems like wherever you are, probably somewhere in the Rockies, might not be the best on the Wi-Fi front, which is somewhat expected. So we'll hopefully get you back in here in just a little bit. Somebody, I think it was YB400. I'm not sure who. Somebody asked 75,000. Is that what the new stadium's going to sit? Oh, it's not. No, the problem. I don't think that's what it's going to sit. It's definitely not that, and hopefully it's not even as big as the current one. That's been one of the things in Jacksonville. That stadium's way too big for this market, size. So, wow, we're already getting into college football, Mr. Hugo. I mean, the Jags just beat the Broncos. We'll talk about Tulane and JMU Friday, okay? Hamby, you can talk about that at some point, okay? Like, I really don't give a damn about Tulane and JMU and your feelings about good playoff games right now here on the show. Got to be honest with you. But we should get some good college football games coming up this weekend. Listen, so much. I'll lead with this in terms of how the Jags won, and obviously Trevor Lawrence is going to be a big part of it. The motivation of the small market stuff's fantastic. Hamby just played at the top of the show, but the reality is, I thought this game, and I said this multiple times last week, would come down to third down conversions and red zone. And Denver was good at both, 32% against third downs and best in the league, like by far in the red zone. And the Jaguars crushed them. Absolutely crushed them in that department. They were 8 of 15, I think. You got to remember that fourth quarter was a little goofy because the Jags are trying to like play with the clock and also just get first downs. Like they weren't as aggressive. So that's a weird spot to be in sometimes for a football team that was really kind of on a heater. Had scored on 6 of 7 possessions. So that was a little tricky in itself. But then 4 out of 5 in the red zone, man, is just unbelievable. So what they were able to do to that Denver defense and had them all mixed up. And I went back and watched all the 4 touchdowns today. Again, most of the third quarter into the third quarter. And I think that's where you take hats off to Liam Coen. Like to me, if you're going to design stuff, you're going to be in your bag a little bit. You're going to have the upper hand. You're winning the chess match in the red zone. And Moose Johnston just kept saying, "It's so easy. It's so easy. It's so easy." Like, well, I don't know if it's easy, but at the same, I get what he was saying. It wasn't like, holy cow, grind it, grind it, grind it. Like a lot of the first half stuff was. That was the other thing I was really impressed with. Amidst all the chaos of really not a lot of good plays, out of the first 20 plays, I think they had 41 yards. 20 plays for 41 yards with 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. And I haven't done the math yet on all the way through the early fourth quarter. I haven't got there yet. But for 20 plays, they couldn't do anything except for hit Parker Washington on the 3rd and 9 for 21 yards, and then also Parker Washington for 12 yards on the touchdown. That was the only thing they could do. And then they figured something out. But when they did get to the red zone, boy, did they figure it out, because it did look relatively easy in the red zone. And then obviously Trevor was clutch on third downs. I mean, he was just really good. And again, I keep saying chaos because there's a play, I forget what time it is now, maybe the end of the half field goal drive where it's 3rd and 9 once again, because the Jags were in like 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15 early in the game. They couldn't do anything on first down. But on a 3rd and 9, you see, like, with 2 seconds to go, it's like him and LaQuint Allen are right next to Hainsey trying to talk and figure things out. He gets back there enough, probably a delay a game, but they do give the second. We've been here burned by that too in Jacksonville. Sorry, Denver folks. But they usually give another half a second or so. And he hits Parker Washington out to the left. Wide open, goes up for about a 15, 16-yard gain. They get the first down. I think they would end up kicking the field goal. I think that was the drive. And I was like, to me, that embodied the day for Trevor Lawrence in the offense because, yeah, they scored 34. He had about 300 yards of offense. He had 4 touchdowns and no turnovers, but it didn't feel easy. Like, it felt like hard at times, and they were still able to get it. I mean, the fact that they were up 14-10 20 minutes into that game was stunning to me, that they were able to have that upper hand despite so many 0 plays, negative plays on offense. And quite frankly, on defense, guys were running pretty wide open. So wild to me that they were able to get through that mud, get through that chaos. I think it said a lot. And really that says a lot about Trevor Lawrence in this game because he was able to handle all that, his command of the offense, where guys are at with the offense. And then also one other thing about it is his toughness in the game. Because he got rocked, man. Like, he got rocked on the play on the back. I can't believe he didn't get hurt. Like, think about if you're just standing there, not expecting to get hit, and you get hit like that. Like, the whiplash on that play alone. He got hit in the elbow, got hit in the back, and the whiplash on that play. I mean, he could have been gone for the season on that play. Like, a really unbelievable that he didn't get hurt. And that was a tough penalty on Denver. I get it. But you have to give it a penalty. I mean, you could have lost a quarterback for the year on that kind of play. So that was one of those examples where the home team hurt the home team on defense, which can happen, by the way. Remember the couple of years in Jags? Remember in 22-23 where the Jags defense was struggling? And they said, well, it's so loud in here, we can't communicate with each other.
Oh, that was tired, though.
Well, yeah, but the reality is there's something actually to that. You just never hear people say it in front of a microphone, that for a defense that's trying to communicate, it's so damn loud that they can't communicate. Well, how many communication breakdowns do you think Denver had yesterday on defense?
Yeah.
You think that was a part of it? Maybe. Now, you are also used to that a little bit more, so you should be able to figure it out. But I think it really hurt them in that spot. But overall, Trevor got hit a ton. I don't know how many hits he took. I don't know how many QB hits. Got sacked a bit. The sacks really weren't a big deal for me. The sacks on the longest sack they had was 11 yards, and that was already on a busted possession. It was 3rd and 15, and that was it. The other ones were just like him trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. They were good coverage sacks. I thought the offensive line played really well in pass pro. I didn't even know Benito played the game.
Really? Yeah. I mean,
I didn't even know he played.
After the game, I think he said he played terrible.
Yeah, he said I played like ass.
Yeah.
And by the way, when he said that, I saw that, and I was like, oh, yeah, they have him. No, seriously, I didn't hear him or Jonathan Cooper's name the whole time in the press box.
Right.
So I don't know how much they were talked about on TV. Didn't hear him. Now, I thought their interior was pretty good, at times. But again, a lot of those sacks were coverage sacks. But Trevor got hit a lot is my point. He got hit late the one time. A little body weight got a break there, I think. But he also, he took some hits when he delivered. So he is going to be sore today. There's no doubt about it. There were just some games you can tell when guys are going to be more sore. That was a playoff type of game from a physical standpoint. ETN, talked to him after the game, but he was really sore. But one other thing about this is the Jags really delivered too. And I thought they're hitting some people hard. They're playing physical, even on the defensive side. And I know the Pat Bryant one, obviously thoughts up to Pat, who's from Jacksonville. Word is he's okay. Concussion, I know that's not good either, but it's better than some other things that could have happened when you get stretched off the field. So good news on the Pat Bryant front. Antonio Johnson got a bogus roughing call. I mean, that was a terrible call in real time and after they met, and they still called it. So I just thought the physicality of this football team continues to show up, and even though they can't really run the football, they really can't run the football right now, and that's probably I don't know what take I'm on in terms of this game because there's a million of them, but you go back to Trevor, and I said to Ryan O'Halloran in the press box, I'm like, you got to keep trying to run the ball, right? He's like, I think he just knows that he can't run the ball, so he's not even going to try it. And he was right. He's like, he wasn't even trying. He's like, hey, put it in Trevor's hands. How many games in Trevor's career have they just said, hey, just put it in his hands? This was like a Josh Allen game or a Patrick Mahomes game where you're just like, hey, just snap it to him every time and let him do his thing. That, to me, is why Trevor's playing the best football he's ever played. Again, he's played spurts that are very good. Don't dismiss that. He has played spurts that are very good. But this kind of play to where you can say, hey, biggest game of the year, put it in his hands, every snap, we can't run, let him facilitate. And he was balling again. I think he hit 9 straight passes at one time before the incompletion to Jacoby Myers in the end zone. Had a free runner at him there and almost delivered there too. That would have been 5 touchdowns on the day against Denver. So I thought the fact that they put it in his hands really early in that game and said, go make plays. And even late in the game when he scrambles and gets the first down, a critical first down at that point, or you would have been feeling some momentum for the Broncos with time on the clock. And one other thought about Trevor, at least for right now, I think the fact that he has played some really good football in the biggest games of the year. Think about the biggest games of the year. You would go Kansas City at home Monday night, right? Mm-hmm. Trevor played excellent in that game. Played excellent. I thought he did a lot in that game. I was like, that was kind of like a Trevor game where it's a lot of it's got to come down to him, and I thought he delivered. Funky at times because of the slip, but he still delivered. And then the Colts game. Here, biggest game of the year. First place on the line. Boom, delivered. This game, on the road, in that atmosphere, you really can't say another player outside of Parker Washington was unbelievable yesterday on offense. It was basically the Trevor and Parker Washington show. And they put it all on him, and he delivered. So, again, these are moments where it's not too big for him, and he seems to relish it and is playing such good football right now, but in the big spots too. So much to like about what Trevor's doing. All right, I think we're going to try Austen, see if we get him here. Don't worry about it. We can handle it, man. We got this thing if it goes in and out, but I know you want to talk about it. So how much did you almost use the hands yesterday going out of the stadium? That's what I really want to know.
Yeah, man, I feel like I have 4 minutes before I get thrown into a different lobby again, and then I have to get out of it. But yeah, it was wild because I feel like Broncos fans were definitely in shock, right? This was a game that I think they all thought they were supposed to win. They had the home field advantage and everything, and they were rolling deep. And leaving the stadium, any teal shirt that you're gonna see, you're gonna give a big old Duval, and that. And I think Broncos fans are a little confused of what Duval actually is. But I mean, listen, it's hard for me to share these stories because I can't swear, I can't cuss, but basically standing by some bathroom, just waiting to use it. A certain female in a Bo Nix jersey, and keep in mind what I'm doing here, Brent, because I'm here at the game with my son, my girlfriend, and then my girlfriend's like best friend, right? So not only am I like in dad mode, I'm also in addition mode where I'm not like trying to come across as crazy football guy or anything. Didn't have anything to drink, right? So I'm calm, cool, and collected, saying Duval, and Broncos fans, I guess, had a problem with that. And it came down to, you guys are a bleeping joke of a franchise, and we know what's going to happen in the playoffs.
Oh, dear.
And listen, man, the last thing you want to do is come at me when I'm in a sober peace of mind, because I'll treat this like I'm doing the show, right? Like I'll treat this like, Casey Kurtz is the judge, and I'll go back and forth and we'll see what's up. So, I basically just casually said, well, what's going to happen in the playoffs? And, then they said, well, you guys always choke. You guys never win. In which case, then I had to remind them, well, what happened the last time you guys were in the playoffs against the Buffalo Bills? Because obviously, Brent, I do research. I bring my receipts just in case these things happen, right?
That's a pretty good poll, by the way. Very good poll.
Well, how could you forget, man? It's Josh Allen absolutely went off that game. They got crushed by the Buffalo Bills. So then that in turn reciprocated to me. He goes, well, bleep you. What happened the last time you guys were in the playoffs? And then it's like, well, it was okay. Like I thought, they made a decent run. And they've been in the playoffs a couple of times the past decade, unlike you guys who your last run was in 2015 when you won a Super Bowl. So now the guys obviously, and the girl that he's with is getting a little threatened and feeling like they're losing the battle. And it's even to the point now where Broncos fans are kind of surrounding me, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. And then it became a lot more expletives. But like, here's how I knew that I won the argument, because the guy's final, like his lace language tirade finally goes, well, at least I'm not a bleep it know-it-all. And I go,
oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
That sounds like
man.
That sounds like you just got in an argument at MIT.
Oh, dude, it was, yeah. And once again, man, like I was calm, cool, and collected, and there's some other things that were said too that I'm not going to repeat on the show, but it was there's a couple instances like that, man. But like this is the cool thing, man. It was cool seeing Jacksonville fans kind of rally around each other. If one was walking by themselves, everyone kind of rallied around those people, and it was cool, man. I finally get now, like when people come to Everbank and shout their stupid chants at halftime or before the game, and getting concessions and everything. I finally understand it now.
Yeah, you can understand. I'll tell you what, man, I grew up going to Patriot games, and what I remember most of those games are people getting in fights in the stands. I say that a lot, so now Ronan will have at least a memory here, too, where it's like, man, those fans, they get pretty salty, don't they? So
oh, man,
he'll have it all. He'll have it all in the memory bank there in Denver. And, hey, the Jags might have to go back out there again. I think the other thing that's wild about all this, I looked this up this morning, the Jags could win 13 games, right? I mean, they're going to be favored to win 13 games now. And they likely will end up with a 3 seed, even with 13 wins, which is unbelievable. Just incredible. And that has not happened since 1999 in the NFL. That a 3 seed had 13 wins. Ironically, that year, it was the Jags with 14 wins and Tennessee and somebody else with 13 wins. So I think people missed that part about Tennessee having 13 wins that year. I missed that. Like, I know they beat the Jags 3 times, but they were pretty good. It wasn't like they were like a wild card team, at like your 10 and or whatever, 9-7 team or a 10-6 team. So anyway, Patriots win really hurts the Jags' chances of climbing up the seeding ladder. And of course, the Chiefs playing bad now also hurts because Denver plays the Chiefs and then the Chargers. Patriots play the Jets and then the Dolphins. So all those teams outside of the Chargers kind of look dead right now. So I would suspect that there's a really good chance still that the Broncos would be the number 1 seed. the Patriots would be the 2 seed, and the Jags now could really hone in on the 3 seed. We'll see what happens with Houston and the Chargers. And, of course, I think the Colts game is going to be a little trickier than maybe a lot of people think right now. So we'll see what they do tonight. Jags with a chance to clinch if the 49ers win. All right. Hey, some Trevor thoughts, man, from you. Obviously, they put the ball in his hands. They said, hey, man, go win us the game. And he did.
Here's the crazy thing. Like, I understand this is probably 5-6 weeks ago. We talked about this team's identity being running the ball, being a physical type of team. I mean, these past few weeks, it would say they haven't played their identity, but
he's going to get really frustrated, by the way. He's going to start punching other things. I won't get as frustrated today. Like, I can't be frustrated today. But I get what he's going through, and he's not going to like it. No. You might want to give him I don't understand how he gets kicked out.
I'm still here. Hey, now I'm back. I was in a different room, and now I'm back again.
I don't understand how that happens. It's the weirdest thing how you end up in different rooms. I'll ask Sesnick during the break.
Right,
it doesn't happen to me. But, yeah, you're good. We got you now, so keep rolling and keep going.
All right. I got about 10 more minutes before it happens again. So with with Trevor, man, like, it's starting to, you got to ask the question now of, is this what the identity is? Are they a pass first team now? Because it's one thing if they can't run the ball and they look dysfunctional on offense. We've maybe seen them, put up more yardage, have more success airing the ball out than actually running the football. So obviously when the playoffs start and everything, you're going against high caliber teams, you got to have a balance of both, right? And even when Trevor had a lot of success, it was based off the play action. Even though they weren't running the football, the Broncos still had to respect that play action. And that's where some things opened up a little bit. So, I mean, you still have to incorporate the run, but to me, it's refreshing where now you've shown that you can beat teams in a myriad of ways. You can run the rock with Travis Etienne for 27 times and get 200 yards and everything like that and on the ground, and that's cool. Or you can go through the air now, it seems like, target some, guys in the secondary and have success that way as well. And really, maybe this is what Liam Coen wanted all along, right? Like, I understand it's fun to say you're the physical run-first team, smash mouth, and that has success, especially in the playoffs. But there's nothing wrong with being a little explosive too, and having a quarterback that can sling it around and keep defenses guessing. So maybe we're seeing a little bit of a shift now in terms of what this offensive identity is. But at the end of the day, as long as you're winning, man, it's all gravy.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about that. I think the boys last night on the postgame show, and I think, Hamby, you were on at the same time for this, they asked a really good question, too, about, is this the ceiling? I think they asked with Shaq Quarterman, who jumped on our show.
Right.
And is this the ceiling for Trevor? Are we seeing the ceiling, or is there more to get? But I think that's an interesting question, too, that Austen just posed. Is the identity now, hey, we're going to throw the rock, right? We're going to put it in his hands, we're going to throw the rock. And because he's playing that kind of ball and you feel good about it, he feels obviously pretty good too. I mean, golly, the throw. that throw was insane. Like throwing. Each week, I don't know if it's because it's the freshest one, but I thought the first rollout was to Tim Patrick was damn good. Cool play. The next one was like, holy crap, right? The one to Parker, like, holy cow, man, only few guys can make that play. This one, I don't think it topped that, but it was still like, damn.
I think it did.
I mean, it was, how did he do that, right? And Austen, I think that's the cool part about what's going on now, because you know how it works. Fantasy, from the highlight-driven world we live in, I can sit there and defend Trevor over the last couple of years, say, hey, there's more of this stuff going on than people want to see. There wasn't enough of it, I get, and it wasn't consistent, but there's more of this stuff. Well, but I think what people want to see is this kind of stuff. Like, holy crap, man, that's a highlight reel play. Like, dudes can't make that play other than Trevor or Josh Allen. There's like 3 humans that can make that play. And that's what you've really seen over the last few weeks. And I think that, along with the numbers and, of course, the wins, have people just like, wow. I mean, it is now like drop your jaw kind of plays at times from Trevor Lawrence. And I will say that part we hadn't seen. 22, we saw good football. 23, we saw good football. Drop your jaw kind of plays. Backyard football plays. Holy crap, is this dude good kind of plays. Like, we really hadn't seen that.
I'll hop in here. I would say, yeah. I mean, you look at the third one yesterday to roll to your left, but also throw it almost at I don't even know what degree angle that would be. His arm had to be to get that to Parker, who's going the other way. Like, at least when he was rolling left with the ones with Tim Patrick and the first one to Parker, they're going also to their left.
Yeah.
The only thing there to the left is the boundary. So there's safety there. Yesterday, he's throwing over the middle. I mean, there are defenders coming the other way, and he fits that in the window. And then you look at the one to Jacoby Myers that Riley Moss, the only play that he made yesterday in that game in the end zone where he batted it away, maybe could have been a little bit better because if it's probably 6 to 8 inches to the left, Jacoby probably catches it. But still, that ball is still accurate, and he's getting crushed as soon as he gets the ball from the snap.
He had a guy bearing down on him. I know a lot of people. I said Walker Little. I thought overall played well. I think he missed that one right there. But still, Trevor delivered. I think Myers probably go back and watch that and be like, I could have done a little bit better job with my body there to get that ball. I mean, he probably would say, and sure, a little bit better of a throw, all that stuff. But, I mean, the third and ninth throw is like, whoa, man, we're getting that every week. And rolling to his left just seems to do it. And now he's navigating the defenders to run, too. That's the other part of this, right? And I don't think people are sleeping on that. But the run part of it, it's not going to be sexy like last week's 50 yards. But it was like legitimate good runs, first down runs, dive forward runs, like and getting away from people runs. Like this is weird to say. And I don't think this is hyperbole. You can stop me, Hamby. But he does look more like Josh Allen last few weeks to me.
Oh, boy.
Well, some of those are the plays you see him do. You see him. He's not Lamar Jackson evading people, but those are the plays that Josh Allen makes, right? I mean, he'll scramble around a little bit. He'll create a little extra time. He'll roll left. He'll roll right. I'm not telling you he does it better than Josh Allen, but those are the highlights that we see from Josh Allen, those kind of throws. Like, I think Josh Allen, to me, the throws that he makes that are unbelievable are the sideline throws. Like, he'll be rolling out, usually to his right, and he'll be going almost out of bounds, and he'll hit a guy that's like his toes are on the boundary.
Yeah.
And those throws are like, holy cow, man, that's crazy. But my point is, you can actually start saying, you can think of 5 plays right now in the last few weeks. Like, those plays I could see Josh Allen making. I could see Patrick Mahomes making. And we really haven't said that around Trevor ever. We can see some throws now that nobody in this franchise has ever made. But that's been going on for 5 years. Now, people don't always want to acknowledge him, but that's been going on for 5 years. These kind of plays has not been going on for 5 years. This is kind of new, and he's just balling right now. All right, we're way late on a break, so let's take one. Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. We've got a lot of chatter in the chat, so I'd like to get a little bit to that. Thanks for hanging out with us on YouTube or all the different places here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Like and subscribe, the folks in the chat would like me to tell you. We'll do that and talk more about this Jags game. Like, how good are they? They just beat the best team in the NFL, arguably, at least going into this one. Best team in the AFC. And how good are the Jags? Are they the best team in the AFC right now? Are the Patriots better? Are the Broncos still better? Like, that's your pick. Is Houston better? Houston's won 7 in a row. Jags Report Live coming up tonight. String Sports Brewery in Jax Beach. Jaguars All Access tomorrow in Jax Beach. String Sports Brewery. So we're going Monday, Tuesday in Jax Beach this week for both shows. We don't know the guests completely. I know this. Tyler Shatley's going to join us tonight. And we'll also hopefully have another player. We're still working on it. Coming in from the late night. Don't have the guest yet for tomorrow. We are working on it. Could be someone like a Parker Washington, but we will see. Join us for the holidays. Come on out to Strings in Jax Beach. 7 o'clock on Fox 30 as well for Jags Report Live. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnicht, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnicht has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness, and most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnicht. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnicht. GMC. We are professional grade.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
It's one of the hot spots in the area.
Welcome you to String Sports Brewery out at the beach. Big crowd on hand tonight. The fans are here.
And now, the newest hot spot at the beach is open. String Sports Brewery in Jax Beach has opened its doors with rave reviews.
We're going to be fans forever.
Cozy up to the bar, grab a seat in the sports-themed restaurant, or grab a seat outside and feel that breeze coming off the beach as the weather warms. Just like the original location in Springfield, try the popular beer menu and come for lunch or dinner too, because the food is fantastic.
We got a special guest in the house. He's happy. He's feeling good. He's Trayvon Walker.
It's where we hosted Jags Report Live in the football season, and the String Sports Brewery staff can't wait to host you. Hey, welcome back here to String Sports Brewery. And if you haven't checked out the new location in Jax Beach, you got to do it. String Sports Brewery, now with 2 locations in Springfield and now open in Jax Beach on Penman Road.
Hi, I'm Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville. Whether you're looking for a side-by-side, ATV, motorcycle, or scooter, Honda has what you need.
The Honda Talon. Ultimate performance meets family-friendly fun. Prices starting at $363 a month. Or the sporty Honda CBR 650 starting at an affordable $204 a month.
Stop by and choose your adventure from a full line of Honda products. Only at Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard. Family owned and operated since 1983.
Hello, I'm Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Since 2003, our firm has fought exclusively for the rights of men in family law. Divorce, modification of child support, alimony, custody, and more, all for men. A father is vitally important to a child's life, and being a man is not a reason to pay more in child support or alimony. I'm a single father. I get it. If you have a divorce or other family law issue, contact Kenny Lay & Associates at divorcemenonly.com.
CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing is taking their 75-plus years of expertise and expanding to CGC Home Services. Water treatment and plumbing is still a big part of what they do, and now they can do even more for you. Home services like kitchen and bathroom remodeling, showers, sinks, faucets, toilet repair, backflow testing, and the list keeps going. Find all they can do at cgchomeservices.com or give them a call, 904-298-7052. It's a new look and a new name with the same expertise. They've been serving homes like yours since 1946. CGC Home Services, right here in Jacksonville off St. John's Bluff Road, 904-298-7052. And visit cgchomeservices.com. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Time for the Monday Morning Quarterback Report, driven by your local Hyundai dealers. And now there's even more to love and a lot of the conversation around Trevor Lawrence. It's pretty wild. I love when things go well, you really love the numbers. And I do. I think it's amazing, some of the just stats that are out right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Listen, I can believe a lot of the stats. I understand the history of the organization, specifically since I've been here since 2008. It hasn't been good. I mean, this is now an opportunity to go to the playoffs for the third time since I've been here. 17, 22, and now this one. But I was stunned to see that this is the longest regular season win streak since 1999. It's the second longest win streak. That's unbelievable at 6 games. Like, you'd figure that, shoot, you almost feel like 2017 they won more than 6 in a row. I mean, I know they didn't, but you feel like they did. And when you have good years, you feel like you did. They had good years in 05 and 07. Just shows you how hard it is to get on that kind of streak in the NFL. And that's why I kind of didn't mind the Jags this week, because winning 12 in a row is really hard for Denver. Doesn't mean they're a bad team. It's just like winning 12 in a row is really, really difficult. Winning 6 in a row is really difficult. Winning 7 in a row like the Houston Texans have done, really difficult. So that's the way the league is built. But that's an amazing one to me. It's the second longest streak. And you're starting to go back to 2005 and 2007 to get some of the numbers that the Jaguars are getting. I thought an interesting one John Dever came up with and told me about after the game, that this is the longest win streak the Jags have ever snapped. Ever from an opposing team. And also, it's the longest home winning streak they've ever snapped for an opposing team. So the previous high was 7 games for Pittsburgh back in 2007. So they just snapped an 11-game win streak and obviously a 12-game home win streak for the Broncos. Broncos had not lost at home in 14 months. Now, you realize that they don't play for about 6 or 7 of those months. I get it. But it's those are the kind. I mean, Trevor's doing stuff that, like, look up the numbers. It's like only Tom Brady and Drew Brees. And I mean, some of these stats in the last few weeks are just absolutely insane. 14 touchdowns, no turnovers over the last 4 weeks is really the most critical part. All right, Brent Martineau here, Austen Lane out there in Colorado still. How we doing? We got you? Maybe we don't. We don't have him still yet, Hamby? I shouldn't have mentioned that. I do want to go to the chat because I know we got a bunch of people in on the chat and check out what is happening in here. Somebody said, pinch me. I like that. That's a good one. Smash the like button. Hopefully you can do that. Listen, guys, I know everyone is excited after yesterday, but in case you didn't know, the ECHL players are on the verge of a strike. Same with the AHL. December 26th is the deadline. Is that whiteboard? Is that Submarine Mike here on the YouTube telling us about that? I don't think I was aware of that. We will have to take a look, see how that might impact the Iceman. Can we talk about Trevor genuinely putting himself in the MVP race? After yesterday, the numbers don't lie. Seeding will be important. Listen, he's not winning the MVP. I mean, the MVP is more of a 4 or 5 week award. Matthew Stafford's winning the MVP, or at least he should. And Drake May has been in the conversation. He's not losing that. I think even Josh Allen would be in that. Now, where does Trevor then fall? Maybe he starts to climb because there's been a lot of inconsistency in the league. I mean, I would think you'd put a Jackson Smith and Jigba or even a Myles Garrett. I don't know how Myles Garrett really enters the fray if they can't win games despite his accolades. Jackson Smith and Jigba to me would be right there. Anybody, I mean, Trevor starts to enter that equation a little bit, Hamby, right? I mean, to at least in like a top 7 or 8, top 10, if he continues the next couple of weeks.
No doubt he has to be in the top 10. I mean, especially if they can, if they win out and he continues to play like this, like I know, like you said, it's not a 4 or 5 week award, but I mean, this is some kind of run, even just in the second half.
Yeah, again, he's not winning it, but even being in the conversation at some point is pretty good, right? So we would take it. So do we have Austen? We're good?
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, Austen, MVP, I know people are starting to say that. Listen, I think this is what's the real part of it is he's playing like an MVP right now. Like, he's not going to win the award, but he's playing like the MVP, which, to go back to last night and the guys in the postgame, like where his ceiling is at, he's starting to feel like, hey, now you can deliver these kind of performances. There's hope someday that he can really be in that conversation in a season.
I mean, no, if we're 6 weeks into the season right now, he might be the front runner, right? But I do agree with you. I feel like it's like a year-long award. I mean, if this was the past couple weeks, he's by far in the conversation. I don't think, in terms of voters and everything, they take that into account. I think it's a full year thing. So, I mean, if he makes, top 6, top 7 MVP voting, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because you have MVP voting and then you have, offensive player of the year voting, right? So that's where you're going to see guys like Puka, guys like Jackson Smith and Jigba get in there. But these past couple of games, there maybe has been no more important player to their team than Trevor Lawrence, because once again, they've been able to do it really without a run game. And that's what their identity was for, the first 3 quarters of the season, it seemed like.
I want to stay on that thing because you brought that up before. So the identity of this football team wanted to be to run the football. The Jaguars actually came out of the bye week and said, we need to run the ball more. We are not going to win football games. They basically said this also, we're not going to win football games if we don't run the ball. Run the ball more than we pass the ball, probably. They built a 29-10 lead on the strength of their defense and also some opportunistic plays on offense against Houston. They lose that game. But then the next game, they come back and they run it 47 times against the Chargers. They absolutely run it down their throat. And we're like, hey, this is the football team, right? They need to do that. Trevor can play well, get the play action going, all this stuff. Well, then teams were like, oh, crap, they can really run the football, so we got to stack the box and run the football. The answer is make Trevor beat you. Well, since then, to your point, now it's like, damn, screw the run. You can't say screw the run, but I love what you said there, because I don't know where they are at with that. But right now the identity is, hey, try to run, keep people honest with the run and the threat of it, but we're probably dropping back even on first down. We're not going to get a yard. We want to drop back, play action that thing, and hit a 6-yard play to Quentin Morris. That's going to be more effective.
Yeah, I mean, I think really where this team is at in terms of identity is what I said about, I think, what makes Liam Coen one of the best coaches right now in the NFL. It's his ability to adapt. And yes, I think they would love to be a run-first team, average over 100 yards a game and all that stuff. But I think they are capable with the play calling and their schemes and everything, where if it doesn't go like that, then they have a plan B. And I think there's a lot of teams in this league that don't necessarily have a plan B. And this is where I think the Jaguars have an advantage, really, maybe over anybody else in the NFL. I shouldn't say that, right? Because I think the Rams can definitely have a plan B, right? Like they lose Puka Nacua against the Jags, and we saw what happened there. So I shouldn't say they're the only team in the NFL. There's other teams as well, but those are great teams like that as well. And I think the Jaguars are slowly getting into that threshold of saying, hey, if we can't run the ball, that's fine. We'll put it in Trevor's hand and win a football game. And that's a cool spot to be in, especially getting close to the playoffs now.
Yeah, Scotty here says the identity is whatever works. I don't think that's how identity works. Usually you need some kind of now, identity might be the whole FAST mantra, right? The whole fundamentally sound, attacking, situational masters, toughness. That can be your identity. I think there is an identity of toughness here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. The identity also is nobody respects us a little bit too. I think they're taking on that, but I don't think it just flows. Your identity doesn't just do that. I don't think that usually works in the grand scheme of things overall. But, for right now, I think they can be chameleon-like in a way where they can beat you in a lot of different ways. And I think I was thinking of this morning, Austin. I don't know if there's a stat that really says, hey, the Jags are going to come out of the gates and they're going to pounce and jump on you. Well, there was for 3 weeks in a row. Trevor was playing really good out of the gates. Well, they didn't really play that great out of the gates in this one, really on both sides, but specifically on offense. Then they tie it 17-17, Denver does, and in the third quarter, that's really where they took control of the game. So, but they're also not like the Chicago Bears, who are beating teams in the final 2 minutes of every game. And to me, that's almost an advantage, because that shows you that you're a good football team, because you win in a variety of ways. You win at a variety of times. You don't blink. And I think that's what really this team isn't doing at all. They just don't blink. I was so impressed when it was 17-17 after the defense didn't tackle Harvey on that play. I was like, all right, now what? Well, they come back, they deliver a drive. Then the defense gets, I think, a critical 3rd and 4, and they force a punt. And the Jags then take command of the game with another drive. To me, that was one of the most impressive things I've seen this season. Those 2 possessions, or 3 possessions if you count the defense, there in the third quarter.
Up at the end there, I truly think, like, if you're gonna put it in a box, and we love to do this, right? We love to classify teams, like, what are they good at, what are they not good at? Honestly, I just think, like, and this game's a prime example of it. I just think this team's identity is, it's us against the world. And if you want to ask me how you beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, like, for instance, if you're the Colts right now and you're gearing up, and are they still even in playoff contention?
Yeah,
That's on the table, so they have something to play for.
Yeah, they got something to play for.
Yeah. If I'm the Colts right now, I'm asking how to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's simple. I keep my mouth shut, and then I tell all the national media to keep their mouth shut. No, seriously, like, this is the only hope I think the Colts have in terms of winning a football game, because being in that stadium yesterday and watching the pre-snap penalties from the Broncos, to me, it was an apparent of what happened with the Broncos. They were overconfident. Like, and I think that's a direct reflection of the coach. It's a coach saying, they're a small market team, and you can sit here and say, well, that's not what he meant by it. That's not what he meant by it. Okay, so maybe Sean Payton didn't take the Jaguars lightly being a small market team, but then how do you explain those pre-snap penalties from some of your all-pros, right, at home with no crowd noise? Like, that goes hand in hand. So I don't think the Broncos were prepared enough, because I think the Broncos, much like their coach, maybe took things a little lightly, maybe bought into the whole, small market thing. And I think as long as Liam Coen has any type of motivation to go off of, whether it's from a national analyst, a local person, a player on an opposing team, if he has even a little inch of just, hey, we have this soundbite, he's going to take it and roll with it. And guess what? A lot of coaches don't believe in that. A lot of coaches aren't going to come in and say, hey, we're going to have this emotional factor of, this guy said this, this guy said this, because I think the old school approach says, well, that's kind of, that's energy that you shouldn't be wasting. You should be focusing more on the game plan. You should be focusing more on what we're trying to do. I think Liam Coen has done a brilliant job in terms of balancing the emotion of the game and balancing the X's and the O's of the game. And he's maybe done a better job of that than anybody other coach in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's too squarely in the Coach of the Year conversation. Not sure if he'll win it, but he's in the middle of it, and that says a lot. YB400 says, each season it's always a team that nobody notices that's good, and they end up in the Super Bowl. And it took 17 weeks to speak about us as a good team. We can definitely get to the Super Bowl. Yeah, it can happen. I understand all of it. But I would say this, and I just tweeted this, Austin. And listen, we've been doing show together for a long time, so I always ask you about the psychology of an NFL player or in sports or other things. I will admit that I'm a little surprised how well, first of all, that Liam Coen has been able to use this, but how well this football team as professionals and a decent amount of veterans react to the whole small market disrespect kind of mantra. They've been able to use that now on multiple occasions this year. You would think that would be like, okay, well, we used that one, right? Nobody believes it. We use that. Now let's go to something else. Like you used it against San Francisco or whatever. Okay, can't use it again. We got to go to a different card. No, like they've been able to use that. I think they were going, they've got people bought in for it. They're coming off the field saying small market. Like they're actually like in their minds to that degree. And like, I think I get it. Like, I understand why you could use it. I guess I'm a bit surprised that 53 men at this level will buy into that so much that it's worked to this degree. And I think that's, hey, hats off to Coen, man, because he's playing it up and the message is getting across.
Brent, when we talk of listen, with Liam Coen, like this is the guy that it's almost like he's spending extra time and energy looking to see who's saying what, and then using that as it really is, man. And I said this after the Kansas City Chiefs game, and I will stand by this. I think you found a coach in Liam Coen that is a direct reflection of this city and this fan base, and it's perfect for what you have in Jacksonville, right? Because in the past, when Jacksonville's been disrespected or, these national analysts want to say something, I don't think it was ever really addressed by the team, was never addressed by the coaches because they were focusing on the game plan and the up and coming opponents. Liam Coen has gravitated towards that, and he's gravitated towards it just like anybody else on Jaguars Twitter would. I mean, rest in peace to Richard Sherman right now. I mean, and you've even seen the social media team in terms of Jacksonville, gathering to it too after they won.
Yeah, keep going. We'll jump back in whenever you can. We're going to cut you because we lost you, but you probably still think he's on. I get exactly what they are using every little thing, which is what you got to do. I mean, I get it. I get the whole sports thing. I know people are bringing it up right now. It's like, hey, if you're disrespected, you're disrespected. I get it. I just can't believe how much it's working, and which is really cool, on this stage to be able to do it. And so much so that they're not afraid to embrace it to the point of don't talk about us. They don't want it. They don't want the attention. Because I said last week, they were starting to get attention last week. Some people are like, they're still not talking. I was like, no, they were talking. Trevor was everywhere last week. Every graphic I saw on ESPN or whatever, or Orlovsky, these guys talking about him. Good morning. I saw some of the shows going into the weekend. People were talking about Trevor. People were talking about the Jags. So they weren't ignored last week going into this game. But you still had your Sherman kind of stuff. Whoever the Wilds guy was did his thing. So they just kind of kept feeding it. What I'm fascinated about is that you can get a guy like you haven't even heard of and play off it. It's one thing to play off maybe Bill Simmons, but they played off like Kevin Wilds. People, there's not a chance in hell anybody in that locker room knew who Kevin Wilds was before last week.
Zero.
No, I mean, I have no idea who Kevin Wilds is, but this is the point, Brent. It's whatever it takes, right, to try to find some of that emotional content. And if you got to scavenge the internet for a player doing a stream with another streamer, but then by all means do that, right? And it's really kind of unheard of, I feel like, in terms of what Liam Coen's doing here. But the beauty of it is I feel like this is his era of coaching because everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's going to say something controversial, and players have more access than ever if you want to go after a player or something like that. So I just think that Liam Coen has kind of embraced the landscape, if you will, and understood the part about being an entertainment business. And this is what James Gladstone said as well. I'm not going to lie. When James Gladstone first had his press conference and called it sports entertainment, I didn't like it, man. Because I'm like, well, it's not professional wrestling. Who cares about the entertainment aspect? Just win football games. They've used that entertainment to their advantage.
They really have. It's a good call there, too. I mean, they have embraced that sports entertainment. All right, I want to stay on time here today because we got so much going on. Let's take a break. When we come back, don't let me forget, but I want to stay on Coen because I think Austen just brought up something else. And I tweeted this last night on the plane. I was watching some stuff, thinking about it a little bit more. And it's like, man, this guy really does fit. A guy from Rhode Island really fits down here in Duval, right? And gets it so much. And I was talking to someone pregame about Liam quite a bit yesterday at length and just that whole part of it. So we'll shed some light on that. And I also want to ask Austen, is he surprised that he said in front of the microphone, led his presser with the small market thing? Because that just doesn't seem like a lot of coaches would do. Are we going to look up in 3 years and every coach hates Liam Coen? Don't go anywhere. We're back in a few minutes. Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
What a throw! Touchdown, Jaguars!
We're coming for you.
They're going to get him on the ground, and that's going to end the ball game.
We showed no mercy. Lawrence looking deep in the end zone. Touchdown! Duval!
ETN is going to take it all the way!
Right here on CBS 47. CBS 47.
Right here.
Your official station of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And the Jaguars strike first.
Go Jags.
You have the opportunity to explore what you might want to do with your life.
There's so many opportunities here that it can spark interest that you didn't even know you had.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Welcome inside the Armor Guard Exterior and Gutter Helmet Showroom. There's a lot going on, like glass exteriors, replacement windows, and down there we have the retractable screens and awnings, plus hurricane protection. Let's talk more about those gutters, and to do that, we bring in Kevin. He's the owner, he's the expert. Why Gutter Helmet?
Well, Gutter Helmet is truly the only maintenance-free product. It lets the trash and debris go on the ground, the water wraps around and goes inside. Unlike filters, they sit on top of the gutters, and the trash and debris build up on top of filters, which requires maintenance. With Gutter Helmet, we're going to keep you off the ladder, the most dangerous thing in your garage. With Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. So get off the ladder and put on the helmet. Gutter Helmet.
Get a free estimate at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. You can also call 904-762-7779 or visit the showroom on St. John's Bluff Road in Jacksonville.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Brent and Austin Show, Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network, taking a look at some game stats from yesterday. The Jags outgained by 100 yards, outrushed by 20, and then the big one at the bottom, only 2 penalties for the Jags on the road, insane environment. And the Jags All-Pro left tackle, as we mentioned, Bowles, he's got 2 procedure penalties. Didn't make any sense, but an awesome thing to start this win for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 2 penalties. And again, since we're going back to Trevor Lawrence, 81 rush yards for the Jags. A lot of that came from Trevor. Take away 1 run from Travis Etienne, he only had about 30 rushing yards on the game. It was like less than a 2.0 average. And maybe that's the most impressive thing here. You were on the road against a great defense, or so we're told, and you were made one-dimensional, and you still scored 34 points. How much does that say about Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, it says probably a lot, right? Right, Austen Lane. I mean, all those numbers and two highly penalized teams. The Jags did a really good job. Did they get a couple of breaks maybe on those potential delay of games? Possibly. They also had a decline penalty, and then the one where Trevor got hit, there was another penalty that didn't get taken. So, I mean, they weren't all the way clean, but overall, Denver did look like the sloppier team. Like, that's the end of the day. A lot of Denver people will be like, hey, the Jags got some benefit of calls. I think they did on a couple occasions. I thought Denver did on a couple of occasions. I don't think that 4th and 1 they got early in the game. That could have been a huge change if they stop them on 4th down. And the refs give the Jags that call. So that was a 50-50 play that went in favor of the Broncos. But the bottom line is, to me, Austin, the Broncos just didn't play clean football. I mean, they had some pass and catch problems. They had some special teams breakdowns, including a missed field goal. And they obviously had some missed tackles on Parker Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I think, the narrative from Denver is going to be, we obviously didn't even play close to our best game, right? So we let the Jaguars have one game. If we see him again, it's going to be different. Like, that's the conversation right now that I feel like that Broncos locker room is having, is just, okay, maybe we took him a little lightly, and now we're going to learn if we see him again. Like, I guess that's all they can really do, right? I mean, they to a team, once again, a small market team that comes into your house in a hostile environment, and literally, especially on defense, it's supposed to be your calling card. They had their way with you, So I think it's a whole lot of, we just, we kind of let them off the hook, and we'll get them next time.
Yeah, so much to dissect from this one. Brent and Austin Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. All right, stay on Liam Coen because I'll forget if I don't. Were you surprised that he said what he said to lead off the news conference? I get that it was their message internally. It was probably going to come out with the locker room celebration. But are you at all surprised? Does that hit your ears funny when a head coach comes out of the gates and says that after a win? And maybe he is. This is going to be a thing all day, guys.
No, say it again, Brent.
Are you surprised that he came out of the gates in the press conference with, we're a small market team, winning at Mile High? Like, I mean, are you surprised he said it in front of a microphone, not just so much, in the locker room? That's a different thing, but in front of a microphone.
No, I mean, with him, I'm not surprised. If it would have been like, Sean Payton or somebody, I would have been surprised. But once again, this is who Liam Coen is. And I think his players appreciate it. I think that, I think the coaches appreciate it. It's different, man. Right. And is he making himself some enemies? Maybe. Right. Like, is he going full heel right now if this is a sports entertainment business? Sure. But I think he's getting the ultimate response from his players, because once again, they're all on the same page, right? Like, anything Liam Coen says in a press conference, you'll hear the players reflect on that, at their locker room. So I think it's great, man. Like, I'm all for it. And once again, it's a very Jacksonville thing to do, right? Where if you feel like, you're not Miami, you're not Tampa, you're never getting any love, you got one of the best records in the NFL, no one's talking about you and everything, like, you kind of want to pop off a little bit. You kind of want to beat your chest and let people know. That's what Liam Coen is. Like, this is a guy who has his fingerprint all over the city right now, and it goes hand in hand. And I think when you have that, man, it's a beautiful thing. So is he making enemies right now upon the NFL in terms of other coaches, Robert Saleh, Sean Payton? Maybe. But are they going to resurrect a gold statue in Liam Coen's favor if he keeps having success in Jacksonville? Absolutely. Like, you aren't in the friends business. You're in the winning business. And right now, with his demeanor, the way he's approaching this, he's winning.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get into the why. How does he fit this area so well? But I'm going to take you back, because yesterday I was watching all this stuff a little bit more, and I'm not a big, I don't know if you're more like this, Austin, or even Hamby, but I don't love to paint with a broad brush. Now, maybe I got to be careful. Maybe I do it more than I think. But I don't really love when, let's just say it's Hamby's generation that everybody wants to say X about or Y about. Or it's people from New England that are not very nice or whatever, or sometimes people, or New York, or I don't really get into that stuff too much. But I was thinking yesterday, coming back from that game, and I'm like, I don't really want to make this about me, but I'm a guy from Rhode Island, and I'm probably not as edgy as Liam. I guess there are times that maybe I could be, but I don't know if I fit the stereotype all the way that would come out of Rhode Island or New England. But I do feel like when I see Liam, I'm like, damn, man, I feel like I grew up playing basketball against like Liam. You know what I mean? Like I feel like and maybe other parts of the country do too. But I'm just like, I feel like I played ball growing up with those kind of guys. And I kind of felt it yesterday and saw it a little bit more. And I don't really know why that was. But so it's just kind of interesting for me to be like, man, this guy carries that kind of edge from there. Like you got people back home that carry that kind of edge. Maybe it's the hard winners. Maybe it's the small Rhode Island. I don't know. But we do have some folks that carry that way. And then to be down here for 18 years now and see this town, right, and this market and the outside perception versus what it really is, and it is a good fit. It's such a good fit. And I'll give you one other thing, and he probably wouldn't like me to say this. It's not going to come off right. But when I grew up, like public school versus private school thing was a real thing now. Like we didn't like private schools where I grew up. And like had a problem with it. Well, Liam comes from a private school. Like he's from LaSalle Academy, man. Like you're like, these kids they're not tough. You know, like you don't get that. Yeah, they're more you get that label. Now there's also like another school like Moses Brown. This is very private. Like that's a different kind of private school. But like that was kind of the stereotype that we would have growing up a little bit of where we grew up. And that's the other thing that maybe in my own mind is like, damn, man, that ain't a private school guy. You know, he has an edge. Like he came from Central Falls, Rhode Island, which is totally different. So I just think the fit, like you've been mentioned, is so wild to me. And a little bit it's because I got the background of where he's from and I know where he's from and all that. But it's fascinating to see how well he does fit here in Jacksonville.
See, but I think it's not just him, though, Brent. I think it's the conglomeration of when you talk about James Gladstone, like he has a little bit of swagger that could rub some people the wrong way. Right, like the way that when he drafted Travis Hunter and everything, and like the national analysts are like, well, we either get to play both ways and change the game and all this stuff. Like people had an issue with James Gladstone, and I think behind the scenes, obviously, because Tony Baselli's not front and center, but I think Tony Baselli brings a little bit of that attitude as well. So you know, you have three guys that I feel like kind of have the same vision for this team, and you have three guys that kind of have the same vision in terms of how they handle, you know, the outside noise and everything. And let's be honest here. When we talk about, you know, being in the national spotlight, the Jaguars draft Travis Hunter, and for a couple of weeks, like that was the leading story of where's Travis Hunter going to fit, yada, yada, yada. It wasn't necessarily about the team. It was about one player. Well, then Travis Hunter gets hurt. Jaguars keep winning, and the Jaguars are kind of an afterthought. And now it's almost like they're on the rebound again where, well, guess what? Even though Travis Hunter isn't there and he was like the polarizing conversation for the first couple weeks, now you have to talk about the Jaguars. Now you have to actually watch the film and do your due diligence and do your research because you might be calling playoff games with them. So I just think this is a situation where you have Liam Coen, James Gladstone, and Tony Baselli, whether it was a meeting before the season, whether it was just an interview meeting, but they're all on the same page in terms of how they're handling the entertainment part, how they're handling the national media response, and how they're handling this locker room.
Yeah, it's a great call, and it's unbelievable how that's happening right now. I mean, the city, when you win, listen, the city becomes one with the team when you win anyway. But then there's other just like things that fit. You say this a lot. You have said this a bunch over the years, man. Like think about Dan Campbell. He fits Detroit, right? Not everybody does it. but there are some connections to some teams and coaches that really fit. And I think we're getting that here in Jacksonville. And I think that part is really cool. And I don't think this part can be lost. And this isn't a comp to Doug. Doug did it a different way. And by the way, in 2022, in year one, Doug, we were all praising him, and we love Doug. And he also had won a Super Bowl. The guy's done a lot of good things. So this isn't like a knock against Doug. It's more that the younger regime, James Gladstone, Liam Coen specifically, but Tony Baselli has his hands on the pulse of this as well, where they're not afraid to look at Twitter once in a while. Like, they're not afraid to pop on whatever people are saying, or at least somebody can show them. Like, I know for a fact, like, people show them stuff. Like, and it's not just the national stuff.
Well, we know they saw the Sean Payton video over and over and over this week.
They're at least they're in tune, Austin, is what I'm saying. They don't get wrapped up maybe so much in it, because there is a danger to that, but at least they're in tune with what's going on in the city.
And here's the thing about it, and kind of going back to your example of private school. The way that NFL coaches handle things, the majority of NFL coaches, it's almost like it's like a preppy private school where, you can't be this outlandish, you can't be this emotional. You kind of just got to wear your suits, fall in line, walk a straight line, and just don't give the media anything, things like that, because that's the way that it's always been done. And I get Doug Peterson did some great things in Jacksonville, but I'm always going to bring this up because I think it was kind of the nail in the coffin from what I saw was when Trevor Lawrence got hurt against Houston. The response to that, it was just kind of, okay, whatever. Like when Jerry and Jones tried to go after Azeez Al-Shaair, like Doug didn't like that, right? I thought that spoke volumes to the city, and I thought it spoke volumes to the locker room in terms of when someone goes after your own and cheap shots them, especially your quarterback, the leader of your team, and there's not really a response, there's not a lot of comments in a post-game presser, that tells you all you need to know. I think if Liam Coen would have been part of that regime as a head coach when Trevor Lawrence got cheap shotted, and he can sit here and say, it's 1 week at a time, yada, 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 I guarantee Liam Coen would have went ballistic on that cheap shot, because it almost feels like, hey, that's one of my guys out there, right? And I'm going to have his back. So that to me is the giant difference. And that to me is why I think these guys are playing for each other so much, and they're playing at a very high level, is because Liam Coen kind of has established we got to have each other's back. I have your back, you have my back. And when you have a coach that can bring it down to that level and not necessarily rule with a dictatorship, but rule by more of we're all in this together, I think you got something special.
I don't know if people tagged you and me in this or whatever, but I saw this yesterday too. It's funny you bring up the Al-Shaair thing, and someone said, can you imagine this team if that Al-Shaair thing happened with Coen and this team rather than last year? And
I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's really been few things that we have been more critical of. Like, I mean, we've been critical of plenty of things, but there are a few things that have bothered us than the reaction that day in that Houston game to the whole Trevor thing from the football team, from Doug, from everybody else. That would not have been the case with this football team and this coach and everything else. And to me, that's gratifying and satisfying. If I was a Jags fan, if I was a player, like that, can you imagine if he lived through that? I almost wish he did, because against Houston, you almost need that. Because I think it would have carried on under Liam for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I do have this curiosity about Liam. Like, what's the picture at the NFL owners meetings going to be like in March when they get the whole crew together? Like, they take all the coaches. You better be careful where you sit Liam Coen, in the NFL team picture of all 32.
Just keep him next to McVay.
Just put him right next to McVay. That's right. But that's what you need. I love that fact that they didn't say, yeah, we are Jacksonville, we're not going to get a lot of credit. We're going to say, no, we're Jacksonville, we're not going to get a lot of credit, and screw you. Like, we're coming to get you. And they're not afraid to say it. You might eat your words at some point when that happens in sports, absolutely. But you got to get there, man, to be able to eat your words. And I don't know if they're here without talking the talk and walking the walk the way they're doing it so far. It's just been pretty pretty incredible. A couple more things in the chat. I just want to keep the chat involved. We appreciate everybody hanging out with us here on the Brent and Austin Show on a Monday, Christmas week. Happy holidays to everyone. And, man, the Jags are playing some really good football, and it's a lot of fun. YB400, we have an attitude about ourselves with a little sprinkle of Southern hospitality. I like that a lot. That's a good way to put it. Corey plays drums. I hope you play them well. Liam got to be Coach of the Year. Vrabel and Ben Johnson haven't hardly played anyone. Well, I don't buy that. I think those guys have done a terrific job as well. I think being in the conversation to me is good enough, and I think he is in the conversation for sure. Root for your guy, cheer for your guy. Listen, Doug Peterson, I thought could have won Coach of the Year back in 2022. In fact, I thought he should have. Brian Dable ended up winning. It feels like it's a big market award. I think Ben Johnson or Vrabel are going to get it. And by the way, it's a little bit of a whammy award, too. I'm not sure if you always want to win that award. So keep an eye on guys like Stefanski who have won it, and that hasn't worked out in the long run. YB400, 30 points a game, giving up 20 points a game. It's crazy. Once I saw the Broncos get to 20, I said, that's it. I'm not sure I agreed with you. I don't know if I said that's it, okay? Austin, that is the defense to me. If we're going to – I'm not hammering because I think they really did a nice job on third downs. But there were a lot of explosive plays. I mean, credit to Sean Payton in that offense. I thought they did a good job. But they had – I felt like they were winning the chess match over Campanile and this defense for at least the first half into the third quarter. And then – whether it changed or they didn't execute or the Jags just jumped up in big spots, I don't know what was the reasoning. The Jags figured it out a little bit. But keep in mind, they gave up like 450 yards in this game.
No, for sure, right? And this, listen, it's a good Denver Broncos team and a good Denver Broncos offense, right? And the problem with them is you have nobody to really key on. Now, I will say this. Going forward in the red zone, you got to stop Cortland Sutton, right? But even though Cortland Sutton was kind of a game changer wherever he was on the field, but especially in the red zone, and that was kind of the MO going into that game where if you buy that red zone, man, stop Cortland Sutton, but
and here we go in 3, 2, 1.
It's so funny. I was like kicking him out for like 10, 15 seconds here or there, but
and he's back.
Here he goes.
Go ahead, Austin. Continue your thoughts.
Nah, he's not back. Yeah. He had such a good thought going, too. That's tough when you got a good thought going and then you don't even know that it's being heard. But we heard most of it.
I'm all good.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Don't get disappointed. Don't be discouraged. Just keep playing the next play, man. And that's what the Jags did. I mean, Dewey said that. Dewey even said, he's like, listen, man, I gave up a play. You come back and you make the next play. That's what this football team does. And at the end of the day, they still came up with 2 turnovers. And don't you believe that they're going to get one? You know, the fumble was a little fortunate, but you believe that they're going to get one, even if it's not a shutdown defense. We understand that. Quite frankly, it's not Houston's defense. It's not, I would say, Denver's defense. They don't have like this quality that's like, oh my gosh, you can't do this against us. But they do have this quality that you feel like they're going to come up with a play when the play is needed.
Yeah, and that's really all you need, right? Like, because you have a team that is right now being led by the offense, and rightfully so, right? When you have Liam Coen, offensive-minded coach, at the helm, okay, this is what it was supposed to look like. This is what we envisioned it and everything. And as a defense, like, yeah, it's okay to bend every once in a while because you play against great NFL athletes as well. But as long as that you can have those takeaways, those momentum changers, which you did, I mean, that Bo Nix interception, man, like, that crowd was deflated. Oh, yeah. You know, like after that, it was like, oh yeah, it's over. It almost felt like. So as long as you can have a couple of those, you know, per game, you're always going to have a chance to win.
Yeah, too many explosives at the end of the day. But again, I would say third down's very good. They didn't get them in the red zone. A little bend, don't break, and then come up with the 2 turnovers. You know, so they just – but I would say – let me ask you this question. When you look at the defense yesterday, did you say, well, X player had a great game? And you might have an answer to this. I'm not sure. Like who? Foye, I think, led the team in tackles.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Trayvon. I thought Trayvon had a pretty good game, and they moved him all over the place. And I don't know if you got to see that from the stands as much, but they're starting to move him inside a little bit more.
Yeah, they did.
And to try to create some things.
Had him right next to Josh.
Jarian Jones comes up with the pick, but I'm not sitting here saying, like, man, he was sticky the entire day. You know, so It's a weird deal, man, when you can win a game like that on the road, and it tells you about your team, I think, when you can't even really take like 4 or 5 players that were like, those guys were awesome today.
No, you're absolutely right, Brent. And once again, like, I don't know, like in terms of the PFF grades or whatever, like who graded out well, but there really isn't a defender that you took away and said that was the game. But once again, they gave up what? Almost how many yards to give up? 350?
446.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, not good.
I mean, 446 a big number.
But Bo also threw it 50 times.
Did he throw it 50 times?
He threw it 50 times.
Wow, how about that? I was a little surprised they didn't stick with the run more after R.J. Harvey's run because I thought they had the run game going and the underneath passing game, and they looked like they started to abandon that a little bit and maybe try to get downfield a bit more, and that's when they ran into problems. I will say this about Bo Nix, too. And listen, I think every quarterback, when they're under pressure, I don't think he was under extreme pressure, but when things got a little dicey in the pocket, man, did he get sped up. And he made some misfires. Like even the one that I'm thinking about is end zone, 3rd and 3. They had the big play downfield, which I can't believe the Jags allowed a big play in that spot, up 17 points. But Antonio Johnson gives that play up. Ends up being 3rd and 3 at like the 3 or 4 yard line. It looks like he can run it in for a moment, and the Jags close it up right at the line. And then he throws kind of errantly to Sutton in the back of the end zone. And if he's just a bit more calm there, that's a touchdown. And so I thought he got sped up in spots. He was good in spots too. But I think he showed some of whether that's the youth and experience, whatever it might be, and didn't make the plays when he needed to make them. But again, that's the MO of the Jags. The Jags are making plays when they need to. Mr. Hugo, no, I actually didn't talk. I saw Evan a little bit. He was talking to a lot of people, and I didn't want to interrupt this pregame stuff, so I didn't get a chance to talk to Evan, unfortunately, out there. And he obviously made the one big play, and they really don't use him.
Had 4 targets, 2 catches, and that one big one.
And not on the field as much as I thought. I know that's been a thing all year, but not on the field as much as I figured he would be.
Yeah.
I thought this could have been a good matchup for him to be able to use to his advantage or their advantage, and they didn't do it. So it was a wild game. Just a wild, all these little things that add up and there's one other thing that should be pointed out about this football game, and probably a million things. Special team. I thought Logan Cook had his best game. I thought Logan Cook, the first 2 punts to me by Logan Cook were awesome. He pins him down deep. Maybe it wasn't the second punt. The one that he had to kick out of his own end zone after the sack. So that was like maybe the 4th possession, really.
He averaged 52 yards.
Man, he was
on
big.
6 punts,
and they were timely.
long.
And then, of course, he drills one at the end. I know they said that. Like, the game might have been over at that point anyway. But I think early in the game, I thought he set the tone. And the Jags special teams was good. They were good tackling on returns. And obviously, Cam Little continues to make kicks.
Shout out to DJ Dallas as well. Look good.
Yeah, a couple of returns. LeQuint and DJ Dallas, I think, had a couple of returns that got him out to the 41-yard line and some favorable field position there. All right, we're staying on task here. Brent and Austin Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Let's take a break. We come back. More, of course, to get to with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now what, right? The Indianapolis Colts watch is on. And where do the Jags settle in here? Are you thinking they absolutely win these 2 games and they win the division? Because that one went a long way to get in a home playoff game and win the AFC South. Now the path certainly is clear. We could have been sitting here with a Jags loss, a Houston win, and the Jags would be in like the 6th or 7th spot. Well, they'd be in the 7th spot in the AFC. So great win from that standpoint. It could be a money win for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they get a home playoff game. And the way this AFC is so wide open, would you be surprised to see some upsets in the playoffs, and you could get another home playoff game, even though right now if Chalk won, you wouldn't do it as a 3 seed. Oh, we can talk about all those things, and we'll do it with those guys getting another W, 6 in a row for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Choose your own adventure. It's not just a saying, but a way of life here at Cycles of Jacksonville. And whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, at Cycles of Jacksonville, a great adventure awaits. With brands like Honda, Vespa, Segway, and Triumph, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with an inventory featuring a 60,000 square foot building. If four wheels is more your thing, check out the largest selection of Honda Talons in the entire county. No matter what you're looking for, Cycles of Jacksonville is going to have the selection you need, all with great financing and rebates. Plus, if you're active duty military, Cycles of Jacksonville will offer you 0% financing along with great discounts for military and first responders. And when you want to get off the road and set sail, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with everything you need to get on the water. So if you're ready for a great adventure, let Cycles of Jacksonville be your guide. Located off Atlantic Boulevard, or check out their website at cyclesofjacksonville.com.
How do we make Mason's famous lobster rolls? It's simple. We get up before dawn, head into the open waters of Maine, haul in our traps by hand, and send only the best straight to our restaurants, where we add warm butter or chilled mayo with a squeeze of lemon and pile it on a toasted split-top roll, just like it's been done for nearly a century. That's the recipe for Mason's famous lobster rolls.
What's been going on?
We're both dealing with a lot of guilt right now.
Can't sleep,
Not
can't
eating.
eat. See that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe? We only paid $100 for it.
Looks like we're out of time. Breathing exercises. Inhale, exhale.
Enjoy the new car.
Okay, thanks.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Get a Hyundai Santa Fe with 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or get $3,500 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Grab some friends and go to a restaurant or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet. Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table. Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjax.com.
Year 2 is in the books for the Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 squad, taking another step forward in the Women's Premier Soccer League. Under the guidance of head coach David Goff, the girls in blue went undefeated at home for a second straight season, including a dramatic draw in the opener.
And they've left it to the death. Unbelievable stuff.
And a late winner to end the season at home.
Headed on. Here's a chance. Gianna Ramirez brings it down, still alive, takes a shot, and into the back of the net.
After fielding a younger roster in 2025 with talent from all across Northeast Florida, the future is bright for the Armada women's team. We highlight the ladies and all things Jacksonville Armada each week on Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Hey guys, we got a new player today. I hear he's pretty good.
Heard this guy played in the NFL.
I think he's an MMA fighter. I've actually been on his show, the Brent and Austen show.
Football and fighting, that's the easy part. Let's see if I still have it on the ice. What the heck, man? Who is this guy? He's saving everything.
Leave the hockey to the pros, man. It's hockey season. Come on out and see the Icemen play. Get your tickets at jacksonvilleicemen.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Oh, I was hoping so. I didn't see a lot of these yesterday, and I kind of wanted to. Might need to put my glasses on. Take me through this, Hamby, a little bit while I grab these.
Yeah, so what we have here is the playoff predictor by percentage. It breaks down to make the playoff, to win the division, and to earn the number 1 seed. And what you'll see is that the Jags are now 77% likely to win the division. That's obviously probably has the Colts at 0.6% all the way down at the bottom of your screen. And then the Texans have a 22%. Obviously, they'd have to win out, and the Jags would have to drop one of these next two to either the Colts or the Texans. Then on the right, you have the chance to earn the number 1 seed. The Jags are coming in at 13.5%. With the Broncos, actually, the Patriots are most likely at 40%. Broncos 36%. And I'm sure that has to do with who both teams are playing.
Yeah,
because the Broncos
Patriots
still have to play the Chargers.
Yep, and the Patriots get the Jets and the Dolphins.
Right. So they're very likely to win out, especially after the Ravens did what they did last night.
So, okay, keep this up if you don't mind. If the Jags had lost that game, they would have been a 42% chance to win the division, is what I saw going into the game.
It's a huge
So
jump.
just a huge swing there, obviously. And there's 2 ways now to get some help. I mean, Jags don't necessarily have to beat the Colts to win the division, because you could see the Chargers beating the Texans. Like, that could certainly happen. So a couple of different ways to potentially root for here down the stretch of this season. And, man, I tell you what, that number 1 seed, if the Patriots, I think the odds for the Jags on the number 1 seed were like 40-something%.
Man.
I think. I might be wrong on that, but I thought it went up to like 40-something% if the Ravens had beaten the Patriots. So they almost got that help. And I think everybody wants to be that 5 seed probably playing the Steelers, although what a hell of a win for the Steelers.
Man, they're scrapping.
I mean, that is an unbelievable win for the Steelers. Mike Tomlin's so good. Let's take a little trip around the rest of the NFL right now. Brent Martineau here, Austen Lane out in Colorado, and Jason Hamby right here. By the way, we did just confirm that I think I mentioned that Tyler Shatley's coming out to String Sports Brewery tonight. I had asked him because I knew tonight was going to be a tricky week with the Christmas holiday and some other things going on, especially late night coming back from Denver, Shrunk Week, all these kind of things. So Tyler is going to join us, and Jarian Jones is also going to join us tonight at String Sports Brewery. Jags Report Live, 7 o'clock on Fox 30 on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network and from String Sports Brewery in Jax Beach. So come hang out with us and Jarian Jones and also Tyler Shatley as well. We'll have some fun out there tonight. But Austin, first things first, now I'm impressed with the Patriots. That's what it took for me. The Patriots, to win that game, the way they won the game, coming off the game last week, showed me they're a pretty mature football team. And again, Vrabel's doing a hell of a job. And Drake May throws for 380. And this might be a little bit of just the Ravens are snake bit by injuries, but also just not very good. But I was really impressed with the Patriots. And I still am not afraid of the Patriots playing them in the postseason. But it's really impressive what they're doing. For the longest time, I could say, well, look at their schedule. Look at their schedule. This is more than look at their schedule. They've got 12 wins on the year. Yes, they do.
All right.
And then obviously Denver's we just saw them, but you still should be impressed of Denver. Denver has a really good chance, I think, to still get that number 1 seed because Chiefs and then Chargers. And, they got a good chance to beat the Chargers at home, absolutely, in a game that might mean a lot of things to get an extra week off. Here's one thing to consider about the Jags. If they do clinch a division next week, will they rest people against Tennessee? Because now they might be bottled up by next week. And would you then do that? Yeah. So, this thing flips on its head in a variety of ways in a 2-week span because Houston's right on your tail. But because they win and they beat the Broncos, which is a decent scenario, the Jags beat the Colts next week and the Chargers beat the Texans. Chargers are at home for that football game, and they're still very much in the mix in the AFC West and everywhere else. Well, Austin, we could be talking about a scenario against the Tennessee Titans where Trevor Lawrence sits.
Yeah, that would be crazy, and they're probably still going to curb stomp the Titans too if that happens. But Yeah, that would be wild to think about, right? I mean, obviously it's 1 week at a time. Let's see how this shakes out. But yeah, I mean, I are on the side of if you have everything locked up and there's nothing else to play for, then by all means rest some of your guys, right? Especially, I mean, you feel like after that Broncos game, Trevor is probably a little banged up right now. He's feeling it this morning. So yeah, I mean, if you have the opportunity to rest guys, and I get maybe coaches feel differently about it, right? Like you want to keep that momentum going, you want to keep that fluidity going. But at the same time, I think going into the playoffs, health needs to be at the premium. So if you have an opportunity, by all means, use it.
Yeah, definitely. You should want to use. I would probably think they would use that to some degree. Could they play like almost like a preseason game where you come out and you get a couple of drives in anyway? Tough decisions, I think. Tough decisions, but health really goes into that. All right, around the rest of the end, man, the Chargers, I'm really impressed with them too. What they have done since the Jaguars lost,
so sneaky,
has been really good. Harbaugh's a really good coach. With all the banged up pieces they have on their offensive line, Herbert's played well. That defense has played well. There's just a lot of teams that you're impressed with across the league, and obviously the Jags are very high on that list. But the Chargers are a dangerous team, and I'm not sure who the hell I'd want to see right now in the postseason, Austin.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man, I thought for sure after that Jags game, like, it was out where the Chargers offensive line's not going to be able to hold up. Herbert's not going to last the entire season, and they're not going to be able to run the football because that's what they want to do with Harbaugh. Well, they've been able to do a little bit of everything and keep Justin Herbert upright. So they're definitely a team where if they can protect Herbert, yeah, they got a great shot. I mean, they're getting healthy again, so they could make a run themselves. I'm not going to say like they're the one opponent where I fear the most in the AFC. I still wouldn't mind seeing them, but you got to take them a little more seriously, I think, than when you played them in Jacksonville.
Keep going around the league. I think I saw a scenario yesterday where a dozen teams. I don't know what time of day this was. That a dozen teams in the NFL could still have a shot at the number one seed. Think about that. Think about how crazy that is. I think until the Patriots won last night, the only team that had clinched in the AFC was the Broncos.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, just what a year. This is a great year in the end. This is so much better. So much better than knowing that Tom Brady and the Patriots are in it or Mahomes and the Chiefs are in it. Like, this is just so much better than the Eagles are like a really dominant team and they're going to end up in the NFC Championship game. It's wide open, and man, did we see it again. How about the Chicago Bears on Saturday night? How the hell did they win that football game? I know you've got a lot of Packers fans you're going to probably see in the next couple of days when you head to Wisconsin, Austin. I mean, what a disaster of a loss for a team that usually knows how to win games.
They're hitting the panic button a little bit right now in Green Bay just because some of their studs on defense since Micah Parsons went out aren't really stepping up. So there definitely is some panic there. Jordan Love, he gets shaken up obviously, and then Malik Willis comes in, and then this is kind of been in the group chat that I don't take part of, but I see it. Now everyone's saying how is Jordan Love really that good of a player, or is like Malik Willis the future? And that's just after one sample size, but now that's what they're talking about. So yeah, there's some problems in Green Bay, and listen, give credit to Ben Johnson. I wasn't necessarily the biggest believer in him when the season started, especially when he came out and said, the whole Green Bay thing of how they plan on beating Green Bay because Green Bay's always had their number, and I just kind of scoffed at that, didn't buy into it. They showed a lot, and despite Love going out and that changing things a little bit, the Bears showed up. The Bears ran the football a little bit. They were physical, and they won the football game. And shout out to DJ Moore, a guy who I dropped from fantasy like 8 weeks ago, finally showed up to have a game. That was good to see him.
You know what's interesting about the Bears, and this isn't take away with them because you ride with what you ride with. Don't the Chicago Bears feel like the 2022 Jags a little bit, Austin? Like where they're winning all these crazy games,
Yeah, that's definitely a great way to look at it, just because, and I'm in this boat as well, I don't think anybody picked them to win the NFC North in such a competitive division, or at least we thought it was going to be really competitive. And the fact now that they sit atop of it, I think there's a lot of comparisons to that.
I just saw that the playoff thing that you put up, the odds, Hamby, are different than what ESPN has on their standings. So, like, I think the Chargers and Bills are flip-flopped on that thing that you put up, and I think ESPN probably has it right. So
I took this off ESPN right before we come back. So
this was just now. Maybe they've. Well, I don't know. I'm looking at ESPN.com right now, and they have Buffalo in the 6th spot and Chargers in the 5 spot. So obviously a lot can change there, and that's because of conference record. Because the Bills have played one more game and they've got 3 losses. Chargers have 2 losses. So anyway, I mean that's here nor there. It's hard to predict who the Jags could even play in the right spot. The one thing is, like, I like the fact that right now Houston's sitting in the 7 hole and you might not have to play them.
Yeah.
But I also think Houston could go to New England and beat. I mean, that's
no
where
doubt
we're at,
about
right?
it.
Like, does every team think they could make a 3-game run right now? And you naturally would think that way. But come on, we get teams like the Dolphins a couple years ago that sneak in, or heck, even the Jags in 2022. Nobody was like, hey, they're going to make a 3-game run and go to the Super Bowl. Like, this is legit. Everybody who gets in the dance will think, hey, we're good enough to go win. Like, there's a confidence, like, we're good enough to go win this
the
thing.
Steelers probably do after they beat the Lions.
Now the Steelers do. Yeah, after the last couple wins. Like, I would say they were the one team that everybody's itching to play.
Yeah.
I'm not sure people really want to play them right now, Austin.
Well, yeah. I mean, they definitely find something now with Jalen Warren that came out of nowhere. Like, the Steelers, I think, are capable of making the run, but they're also capable of losing by 30 based on who's calling the plays with Arthur Smith. So, yeah, like, listen, any team can scare you. It can be any team's day, right? That's kind of been the model of the NFL this year, is so much parity. But if you're asking me, like, who I'd rather play, like the Steelers or the Texans, I mean, give me the Steelers all day.
And I think probably a lot of people were thinking the same thing against the Chargers after the Jags beat them. But, I mean, based off of what they've done in the last month, like, if they're hot, then, who necessarily wants to play that offense?
Hey, guys, what happened to Tampa? What's going on in Tampa?
I think ever since Baker
Mayfield's
but ever since his whole AC joint injury too, I don't think he's been the same guy. I think him and like Lamar Jackson, after he got hurt, they have not been the same guys.
He's legitimately pressured on every drop back, though. Like, and they're not running the football great, so what else do you have? I mean, they're going to put up 20 points a game, but a lot of the explosiveness in their offense has evaporated because he can't get the football to people down the field because he doesn't have enough time.
Well, there's a lot. They're saying they would answer that question with Liam Coen's not our head coach, by the way.
Well, that too.
In Tampa. Mm-hmm. And I'm not, like, for the Tampa fans that think that way, like, come on. Like, that was never happening. Right? They were trying to keep him potentially for maybe a change at some point, but they weren't going to fire Todd Bowles. And there were some people in real time back in January that were saying that in Tampa. Like, hey, we got to keep our guy, fire Bowles. There were a few.
There were a couple.
But he had done such a good job. You don't do that. Like, that's not going to be the case. But it is pretty interesting, just this whole dynamic between not only Liam Austin, but also Ben Johnson in Chicago compared to where the Lions are right now. And their offense has been really good, but they're also not winning. Yeah. So it's like it's an interesting dynamic that two teams that had been really good on good runs the last couple of years lose their coordinator, specifically their offensive one, and both might not make the playoffs.
Well, and I think, and because, this was talking to Coach Mike Mularkey too, because he was talking about it at the Thanksgiving thing. Like, they have great players in Detroit, but schematically, it's not like it was last year. Where, like, last year, like, yeah, they have Amon-Ra and they had Gibbs and then they had Laporta, but he got hurt. But, like, you had all these great players, but you also had a scheme that, like, hey, these great players are getting wide open. Like, Jahmyr Gibbs is getting wide open. Now you're seeing teams start to, kind of get on Gibbs a little more and try to shut him down. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't because he's so quick. But, like, you're seeing great players make plays in Detroit, but you're not seeing the schemes to win football games. And I think that's the difference. And this is why, and I've spoken this before a little bit with Liam Coen, this is why you're always going to have a shot, right? Because you watch what happens right now in Detroit. You watch what's happening, with the Buccaneers. When you lose your offensive play caller, even though you have a great offense and great players and a great quarterback, that can be detrimental. And at least here in Jacksonville, you have a guy as a head coach in Liam Coen where he's not going anywhere. Now, do you lose a coordinator here or there? Possibly. But even in doing that, even though if you lose a coordinator, your offense is probably still going to be the same and still be familiar to your quarterback, and that gives you that advantage.
All right, so let me just simply, you guys think Seattle's the best team in the NFC?
The fact of the matter is, if the Rams played them again, I'd still take the Rams.
I probably would too, but I could also, Seattle's been that good, but even Chicago, right? Or a Green Bay, it's wide open. What do you think, Austin? Who would you take right now in the NFC?
I would take the Rams, who probably have the MVP, and I think probably have the most offensive firepower when healthy, right? Like I get it, the Seahawks beat him, but Adams wasn't playing. I think he adds a little more to that offense, so probably the Rams.
All right, how about the AFC? Who's the best team in the AFC right now?
I still give a little advantage to the Patriots, but I think it's 1A, 1B between the New England Patriots and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I really do.
Amby, you going to homer up here?
I don't even think it's necessarily homer. They just went on the road to beat the number one team in the AFC. Like, why would they not be the number one team right now?
Yeah, it's
this
fair.
week, they're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I think Denver is good, but I never, the interesting thing going back to what I think, Austin, you were saying earlier in the show about Denver, the mantra out in Denver was like Super Bowl or bust. And I'm like, damn, that seems kind of early for a coach who's just been there a couple of years and a quarterback who's just in his second year to be kind of speaking like that. Now, if you're in Baltimore or, heck, Pittsburgh this year because you got Aaron Rodgers at age 42, whatever it is, like, it's just they are vocal about it. Like they have said like Super Bowl or bust, and I'm like, wow, okay, they don't feel that good to me. Like they feel good, but they don't feel great, which is kind of the nature of the league this year. So, and now let's see what the Jags did to them. Now they could easily play again, and that game turns out different. I firmly believe that, but I think what Hamby's saying is probably right, and you are much more of a fan of the Patriots than I have been. I'm now on board a little bit more after last night's win. But I still don't mind the Jags and the Patriots matchup. So, shoot, man, I think there's a lot of evidence to say that the Jags are the best team in the AFC. which is crazy.
Wait, so then can we finally call them great or not? Or we're not going to call them great yet?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a great team in the AFC. Is that me wiggling out of that?
Yep. Sure is. Because there has to be a great, like, you just can't have, okay, the AFC's got some good teams, like there's got to be teams that are like favored to make runs.
Yeah, well, you're again, you shared your status. It's like elite, great, and so yes, they would fit in great. To me, it's more like good, very good, great. I would put the Jags at very good. I don't know if they're a great team. And part of that to me is more on their defense because, again, we see some of the warts in the defense, and you wonder, can you win that way in the postseason? Like, that's where I kind of get a bit concerned that if the ball doesn't bounce your way, are you going to win that football game? Because it does feel like in the postseason, Austin, you're not winning games by scoring 34 points, right? You got to win some 23-20 games, maybe even 20-16 games.
No, listen, I hear you, Brent, and I'm just glad that you said all that because now Liam Coen can copy and paste that and then use that in the locker room, and they've just found their motivation to travel to Indy. That's going to be another win for the Jaguars. Can't wait to see it, and then maybe we'll have some motivation for them as well against Tennessee. The interesting thing, and if you want to get the script writing and everything for the NFL, and once again, we're speaking far ahead now, but assuming that the Rams are the best team in the NFC, and you do get a rematch of the Rams-Jaguars, there's storylines in itself right now. But if you want to talk about the ultimate motivation, all you have is Puka Nacua going on Neon Stream saying that the Jaguars are extremely overrated. Like, if heaven forbid it comes down to the Rams-Jags Super Bowl, you don't even need any kind of, pre-press conference, pre-Bulletin Bowl material because it's all there on Twitter right now. You just got to go there, copy and paste it.
What's actually, hypothetically, that'd be even better because you would not get it from McVay or anybody else who was an admin or anybody like that. You wouldn't get it from Stafford. So the fact that you're getting it from a player is the only chance you would have gotten, and you've already got it in your bag. So you can bring it out whenever you want it.
Yeah, and Hamby, it's not any player. It's probably going to be the offensive player of the year.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like that's all the incentive you need right there. So put it in the locker room, play the video a million times. Like that's all you need. And let's be honest, if you want to beat the Rams, you got to shut down Puka Nacua, obviously. So that could be a little more incentive if we get to that point. We're still a long ways away from that.
Still a long way away. But man, I tell you, it's you can start to envision some things happening and so wide open that you can lose just as easy. And by the way, I think the Jaguars' rush defense is severely overrated as well. Just throw that up on the board, Liam. Hey, just to let you know, I've got a new Venmo buddy.
Oh, man.
Pay me. I'll keep saying it loud and clear. Look, the guy that's even on the team plane doesn't think you're any good. Might be a tough walk back to my seat.
Kicked off the team plane, yeah.
That's right. Hey, did I say this? Oh, I said this to Rich Jones today. I get so many texts. Now, yesterday was a game where everybody was watching, so you get a bunch of texts from people that usually don't text you about the Jags. And I get so many texts where it's like, man, have a fun ride home on the team plane. Team plane's going to be unbelievable. And I just think that is one of the biggest misnomers that I've experienced in my time with the Jags.
Everybody be slumped.
Oh, my gosh, man. It's like everybody's exhausted. Like, shoot, I was exhausted. I didn't play it down. So, like, it is – you would be so disappointed to get on the plane and actually see the atmosphere compared to what you think it is. And Austin, I was thinking
people would imagine strobe lights and
like
loud music.
Playing,
hey,
like, no
dudes can't walk.
They can't even walk.
Yeah.
Austin, do you remember a plane at all? A plane trip home that was like raucous?
No, not one bit. Not even close. Just because, like and this is the truth, and it's not over embellished. Like it's literally the truth. Like after every NFL game, it feels like you've been in a car accident.
Yeah,
it really does, right? So like you're already kind of like once the adrenaline's worn off, and guess what? As you're walking off the field, it wears off. You hit the shower, and you're starting to feel like, okay, there's a cut right there. Oh, okay, there's a bruise right there, right? So now you're kind of you're getting slower dressed and everything, and then you go get the food. And at least when I played, and maybe it's different now, maybe Shad Khan's sparing no expense with this season with filet mignon and lobster bisque for your travel meals, but you get your soggy sandwich or your greased up pizza, and then you get on the plane, and it's like, okay, here we go, 3 or 4 hours, and you can't get comfortable. Like, no, man, like take out the misconceptions of guys are partying, guys are celebrating. Guys just want to get home, and you don't talk about either is when you get off the plane and you have to go drive home from your car. That experience as well is just because you're stiff, you're not stretching on the plane. Now you got to hobble your ass down the stairs on the plane, and then probably getting if you're a high making money player, you probably got a nice sports car that's lowered to the ground. So now you got to like try to maneuver yourself in the vehicle. Dude, it's a nightmare, man. Like there is no partying going on.
Yeah, there isn't. I will give you. I know you were playing us out, and I'll get out in a moment. But just one other thought on that. I was actually a shade disappointed in the Jags locker room yesterday because I could feel the excitement here in Jacksonville, even from Denver. I could see in our post game show, all the fans. So on the field was really good, but I think the physicality of that football game, the fatigue of that game, that was a long game. It ended up going like 3 hours and 20 minutes or something. I felt like in the locker room, I'm looking for people to interview, and usually we wait for guys to get dressed or they haven't started to get dressed, so we get them in uniform. I thought like everybody at their locker was sitting there, shirt off, towel around them, and just like sitting there. Wow. And so we're just sitting there in the middle of the room like, okay, who are we getting? Can we get somebody with a shirt on here? Like, can we get we're just sitting there for a few minutes. And then the other thing is once we did talk to them, they were pleased with the win. But it wasn't like they were like just beaming like I felt Jacksonville was. And to me, that actually shows the maturity of the team.
Yeah.
But it also shows a little bit of their fatigue that they didn't have any juice left, man. They left it out there.
Brent, real quick, speaking of juice as well, I have to give credit because, I had the preconceived notions of what Denver was as a crowd. Everyone's smoking, everyone's chill, welcoming. That wasn't the case. Fans were crazy. But, dude, the game day experience, I mean, I'm going to give them credit. It was pretty cool. The whole skydivers coming in, I'm not going to lie, like, I may have shielded my son's eyes from the first skydiver coming in because, dude, they're coming in at like 60 miles per hour. And I thought for sure the first guy that came in was coming in way too hot. And I thought we were going to see like a body on the field because, like, if you've never seen it before, they have 4 skydivers come in and they come into the stadium at full speed. And the first dude that came in, because I'm uninitiated, I thought for sure he was coming way too hot. I was gonna hit like the side of the building and crash, man. Like that was really cool to see. I was nervous, man.
I go back if you want to go back and look at my video, and I know I tweeted a bunch in the last 24 hours, but like right before the game when that's happening, I tweeted a video of those guys landing, and where we are in the press box, there's like the upper deck is above us. So we can't see the sky. So I'm watching like the Jumbotron where they got a video of them. And then all of a sudden you just see this dude just go, whoo! It's like people are dropping from the sky, literally. And I was like, is this going to end? And you're right, man. That first dude that came down, I was like, we're going to see a death right on the field. This is going to be a weird way to start the game.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Props to that. And also, Brent, so I was right underneath the press box where my seats were. So I was by like the Denver media, inside the Jacksonville media. I was so close to climbing through the window because the windows were open. I almost climbed through the window to get some of that prime rib in there because I could almost smell it through the window and I was starving.
You could have come back in. Hey, one other thought, by the way.
My credential.
We're very honest here. I also want to know what happens if Thunder the horse craps on the field.
That's a good point.
Seriously, has it ever happened? Like what?
Oh, it has to. Yeah.
Did they feed the horse and not feed it again for like hours once it goes to the bathroom at like noon? Because the horse is like on the field pregame, on the field like during, I think, after scores or whatever, makes a little run for it. But, you know, I mean, those horses, well, they'll take crap anywhere. And,
well, you know, what
I'd be
Brent,
pissed
what
if
I think actually
player.
happens. What I think it actually happens is like if it does take a crap on the field, you know how there's like an honorary kid for the kickoff? There's an honorary kid that they nominate to get and now coming to the field to scoop off, you know, like he's got a 4.0 at, you know, middle school. Let's give him some.
They actually put the guy on the board who was like a windsock holder. So there's like John Smith. He's like some 68-year-old guy or whatever, and he's out there in the middle of the field, and he's literally holding one of those windsocks. And he's the windsock holder. Like, I don't know how prestigious being the windsock holder is in Denver, but damn, that guy got his name up on the board. Who's the pooper scooper for the horse?
That's what
is who I want to know. But
hey, is there any easier job than a windsock holder, by the way? Oh, man. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Brent, you were right. You were right above me, man.
You were
I was right
down
over
a little
there.
bit. Okay.
Yeah.
I should have looked for I didn't really even look for it. I just figured I would never find you. Look at that guy just drop out of the sky like that. I was like, holy cow, man. This video doesn't really even do it justice, in my opinion, because now you know it's coming. But
well, and give them credit too, because the way they landed, like they had to like come to a full sprint to try to stop. I mean, that's an Achilles pop waiting to happen right there as well.
Denver's a cool place. I mean, listen, you can't hate on that. It was a great atmosphere. What a day. It was such a nice day out. And it's a cool city if you haven't been to Denver. Great. Might have to go back for the playoffs. Never know. But maybe put it on the plans. Start asking now for Christmas. We'll take a break. Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Love that you're hanging out with us here on a Victory Monday in Jacksonville. Happy holidays. We'll get to some more of your comments in the chat when we come back. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. And most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
It's been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Hey, welcome back. Brent and Austin Show, Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Thanks again for hanging out with us here this Christmas week. Hope you're ready for a fun week with your family, and best to everybody around the holiday season. Looks like we got a beautiful weather week. I said this, I don't know when I said it or where I said it or who I said it to, but I was watching the
That's helpful.
weather in Denver. And it was like you could tell how disappointed they were. And Austin, I don't know if you saw any of the coverage or news or whatever, but they're so disappointed right now in Colorado because of the temperatures. Like it's 70 degrees there today. They probably on Christmas Day are going to break a record of, I think, 69 degrees for Christmas Day. And they're so disappointed. Like, and I get it because so much of their economy and so much of their identity is skiing this time of year. And Like, I saw one story on the news I was watching on Saturday night, and there's like a farm or something that does sleigh rides this time of year for people, and they've had to change it to a wagon ride because they don't have any snow.
Yikes!
So, but the weather guy that I was watching on Saturday night was almost like depressed. And it was just so interesting to hear, like,
they wanted a snow game.
Sooner or later we'll get snow. Like, hopefully in January we'll get snow. I'm like, man, I'm from Rhode Island. You don't sit there and beg for snow and cold temperatures as much as you do, I guess, out here in Colorado.
I mean, Brent, but when we talk about Colorado's identity, like, it is a whole lot of skiing, and it is a whole lot of snow. Obviously, they're in shock that it is what it is right now. Because I mean, I'm up in the mountains and there's no snow to be seen. So I'm not sure in terms of like places like Aspen and everything. I still assume they get more snow just being at that elevation and everything. But it's crazy being here in December and there's no snow to see. And I think if you were talking about a couple months ago and you're planning for this game, there was a big worry if you're a Jaguars fan saying, okay, well, how does this team handle cold weather? Well, we may never know, Brent.
Yeah, we may never know. How warm is it for you up on some of the elevation like today? Is it like 50 degrees?
So it's super windy, which is maybe why I'm thinking the Wi-Fi was kind of acting up in the beginning of the show for me. Yeah, it's about 50 today, but like it's not worth going outside just because the wind on the mountain is so crazy. But I did send Hamby a pic.
I'm working on it.
This was 2 nights ago, driving up the mountain. We came across a couple critters.
This is more than a critter.
And we were literally like a couple feet. It's more than a critter. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Is it like a bear or a moose or I don't know what they
nailed it, Brent.
One of the three.
Yep, there you go. Yep, one of the three. And
moose
I
would
wanted
be cool.
to just
like bear is cool too. Like when we went to Yellowstone, we were so disappointed we didn't see a bear. But I do think seeing like a moose would be pretty cool.
It was cool, but it wasn't cool when it's much like the geese, and this is a crazy comparison, but I'm gonna make it. It's much like the geese in Jacksonville when they're crossing the road, how they have zero care in the world because they're geese and no one's gonna hit them. So they're kind of cocky like that. So you just kind of have to let them cross, and you can honk, but they're not gonna hurry up. This was the same thing I feel like with the elk that we came across where they could care less. And unfortunately, like the geese.
Whoa.
Yeah. But you can't honk your horns because they could get aggressive and then they can come at the car.
That's a dang unit.
So it's a unit. That is that qualifies as a moose, not an elk. Or
I believe that's an elk. I think that's an elk. I think moose have different type of antlers. Elk have antlers like that.
Okay, so that's an elk. Man, look at that thing. That thing's built like a linebacker.
I also saw one of these this weekend.
What? You saw one of those?
Pretty much.
Where were you? Pretty much. I mean, pretty much.
We went to this.
You didn't.
I don't know if it was the exact same species, but is he
reindeer?
No, wasn't no daggone reindeer. We were down in Orlando and went to the Animal Kingdom Lodge thing for dinner at this place called Boma, I guess it was called, and it's right out there. I saw a giraffe and I saw one of those things.
So you were in the safari?
I guess
these were real. These weren't like
these were, and
animals?
I saw a zebra, and it was cool. But I have a new idea. That a new business idea, actually.
A business idea.
Yeah, because look, in this lodge or whatever, there's like a lot of grass, and it's all enclosed and all that stuff, and the restaurant's connected, but also connected, or it's like a resort. Like you look out on your balcony over this safari or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm like, all right, this is cool, but like, hey, on morning 5, I'm seeing the same couple zebras and there's one giraffe, and that's all good and stuff.
You've counted the stripes by now.
Exactly.
How long were you there?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, hypothetically, if a family who's staying there for a long time, like, that's going to get old. So the only way to curb that is we're going to create our own kind of lodge with a safari. But then we're going to let a lion loose for a special fee pay-per-view. We're going to let a lion loose once a night, and we're also going to open up our own book. And you can bet on a zebra. We're going to put a number on this is zebra number 1, zebra number 2, zebra number 3. You can bet on which one lasts the longest. Okay. Dude, Austin, people would be coming out the wazoo to watch that.
Austin, I think this is illegal and sent people to prison for stuff like this.
Yeah,
is he okay? Is he okay? Did he just say that?
Dude's trying to make zoos great again. It sounds like, that's crazy, Hamby.
Would you not watch if it was bringing the wild to
Hamby,
to a place like this?
Hamby, I would stream it. Yeah, I mean, I watch animal videos all the time, but I'm not going to bring my family to it. I'm not going to make it a family Disney getaway. Wearing matching shirts. Hey, come on, kids, let's go watch the lion. Take apart the zebra. There's no way, Hamby.
Mr. Hugo, get out of here. My 24-hour traffic network of people ramming into people is way better.
That was so bad.
And Daniel Kilkenny's right on the money here. Hamby does sound like he just got home from a field trip in 4th grade. He's like, Mom, I saw a zebra. I saw a deer. I think I saw an elk. Maybe a reindeer. Like he was just listing all the items, and I thought the same thing.
I was watching that.
Got out for the first time.
I was watching that instead of the Oregon Massacre. So you can watch an Oregon Massacre, you can watch the Lion Massacre. I thought the Lion would be a little more interesting.
Both are better than watching apparently the boxing match on Friday night. That was
yikes.
I can't believe people actually are paying attention to it, and it's a headline on ESPN that what's his name beat him. It's amazing.
Yeah. It's. I mean, hey, listen, props to him. I think he got $70 million for that fight, which is just
unbelievable, man.
So crazy, man. I mean, I'm gonna have to start getting on Twitch and everything, and just start becoming an influencer than fighting people, because that seems like the life right there. Like, I'll get my jaw broke for 70 million or whatever it was. Like, why not? Let's go. I'll drink through a straw for a couple months. Hamby, real quick though, Hamby, when you went to this lodge place so it was Universal or it was like Disney?
I guess it was Animal Kingdom, but it was the lodge. It wasn't like the park.
Yeah, I get you.
Okay. Did you guys go around the parks at all or not?
No.
Okay. So then there was no matching shirt families, things like that.
No. This was just for the dinner.
That would have been good.
Restaurant place.
Done it before, so I've been there before. Yep. Hey, speaking of Hamby,
what?
We got to be careful around here, Austin. We got a lot of different people jumping in. I thought the boys did a nice job yesterday. I was a little nervous. Noah Chandler did a great job. Hamby jumps in. Thanks to Mia for jumping in. Shaq Quarterman was good. We're trying stuff all over the place. Our quality control is probably not at the highest of levels sometimes. Yeah. But Hamby is in his feelings so much after the game that he basically was like, that Broncos defense sucks.
Oh, yikes.
What was the tweet, Hamby?
What?
I was like, I just said they weren't very good and they couldn't hold a candle to the Texans. That's what I said.
Did you watch Genty tear the Texans apart?
Well, no, I wasn't watching that game. I was watching the Jags and Broncos.
Okay. Well, I'm saying, did you see the highlights though?
I have now since I said that.
Okay.
You got some heat.
Okay.
You got some heat. The Broncos. Here it is, Austin. The Broncos defense ain't that good. All the credit in the world to the Jaguars offense, and I mean all, but the Broncos defense is nowhere close to as good as the Texans is. The Jags were one-dimensional, still scored 34 on the road. Chill out.
Where's the lie?
Okay.
Where's the lie? Yeah.
Where's the lie?
The Broncos fans I actually thought you had more responses based on my Twitter feed. Honestly, agree. Texans D is levels above. I do think the Texans defense is better. But
okay.
We knew that I thought we knew that going in. Broncos defense is legit. Coen just stayed a step ahead. I'd say we beat a good D. I would agree with Jonathan there. I think they beat a good defense. Jags hung 30 on the Texans too. Well, which is kind of true, but in a different way. Keep that same energy come playoff time, Denver fan said. Agreed, but the Texans couldn't stop the damn Raiders, as Austin just said. podcast equipment should be more expensive. I'm not really sure where that came in, but okay.
You know what he's saying? Not everybody should be able to do a podcast because I'm an idiot.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I get it now. Well, he might have a point at times. Bronco fan, 100% in agreement. Broncos defense has been overrated all season, winning with third-place schedule. Jags brought a beatdown. Jeesh.
Sounds like I'm getting a lot more agreement.
You should. The Texans just gave up almost 400 yards to the Raiders. Please shut the F up.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was.
I tell you, man, I thought that was a lot of fun with the Texans and Broncos fans in the last week or so. It's been really, I mean, they've been on a heater.
Our fan base has been insufferable in the last 24 hours.
Oh, man, our fan
my
base.
gosh.
Go get them is what I say. Unleash them.
More power
Unleash
to you,
the
man.
hounds. Because I think.
Like it's your job. Let's go.
Literally, people are tweeting like it's their job.
Did you see the one guy who said like the 5 fans? And sometimes I like to egg it on. I was like, well, those 5 fans are about to be in your mentions for the remainder of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do not forget around here. Absolutely do not forget. And obviously the Richard Sherman thing continues to be. Did you guys see his podcast? I didn't see any of it. Did he actually talk about the Jags at all?
I didn't, but I saw he put in his title. That's what I put out. I was like, it must be a typo because how could you put the Jags in the title and not watch the game? I'm going to have to watch it.
It'll be interesting to see how some of the national folks respond.
We should do a live reaction to Sherm's video after the show today. It'd probably be like 8 minutes. We should do it.
I feel like the better live reaction is what he's saying in real time on Thursday nights.
Oh, yeah.
You know, now we're probably not going to do this, but I mean, he's got to go through the playoff scenarios, and he would have been just really ramping up the Broncos because that's who's playing that night, and they're going to look good most likely against the Chiefs. But what will he say? Like, now,
we're going to have a field day.
Austin, he's got to stay on the side, right? Like, if I'm Sherman now, I'm taking a jab somehow. Like, the Jags got lucky against because the Broncos had won 11 in a row. Like, I'd be throwing something like that out if I'm Sherman on Thursday night.
No, like you almost like you've kind of made your bed and now you got to see it through, right? So, yeah, I mean, if I'm Sherman, because once again, like I understand, I think he got his feelings hurt a little bit, and you know that's the reason why he's not watching Jaguars games. But he's in the Skip Bayless like role now, where like you're polarizing. Like people are gonna tune in to hate you, and if that's the case, I mean, people are still gonna tune in. Like as long as you're getting the interaction, as long as people are talking about you, you're going to have a role. And I've spoken this many times. I don't agree with it. I don't agree to pandering and getting people emotional all the time and everything. But hey, Richard Sherman, more power to you. But like the last thing you want to see him do now, Brent, is like go back and say like, oh, you know, it's not. You're like, no, man, like own it. Own it so Liam Coen can keep like, you know, making those videos and sharing his team with it.
Real quick, I mean, as good as the Thanksgiving Day games were, what did we have? We had Cincinnati, Baltimore at night. We had Lions, Packers.
Yeah, that was good.
Cowboys. Who did they play? Eagles.
Yeah.
This Christmas Day slate is buns. Cowboys at Commanders. No thanks.
Yeah.
Lions at Vikings. I guess. Denver at Chiefs. With who as the quarterback?
Yeah.
Feel bad for Gardner. Oh.
Who is the guy? Who's their third quarterback?
Never heard of him.
He's from like South Dakota State. Had you ever heard of him, Austin?
No, I don't know.
I don't even know how to say his name, but I
Chris
looked him up.
Aludicon.
Never heard of him.
Aludicon, I guess.
Go with Aludicon.
I mean, if
South Dakota State.
If Hamby can't pronounce it, no one can.
Yeah, like listen, the NFL's in a tough spot on the Christmas Day game. This is the danger of it. Like if you get the NBA and you can do a Christmas Day game, well, you can always get marquee games because you're right early on in your season almost, or like a third of the way through. Thanksgiving, you can do the same. Well, first of all, you know you're going to get the Cowboys, you know you're going to get the Lions. You can create what you think are pretty good matchups and have a pretty good idea what might be a good matchup. Still hard to control, right? Like Joe Burrow, is he going to be playing? Who's going to get hurt? All these things. Yeah. Christmas becomes a lot more difficult to do that. Like the NFL, I know they push all the right buttons, but sometimes you just don't get it. And wasn't it last year or was it 2 years ago that the like it was the Raiders and the Chiefs. And remember, the Raiders
and the
beat
Raiders
them?
won, yeah.
But still, like the Raiders weren't playing for anything. It was like Antonio Pierce's Raiders who beat
Yes.
the Chiefs, which was weird. So it looked like a bad matchup. Bottom line is, you're going to get some bad matchups if there are only 2 weeks to go in the season. And well, it doesn't matter though. People are going to watch and people are going to bet. And is fantasy over now, or you got one more?
Okay.
One more week, Brent. I'm going to the championship, by the way. I'm going to the championship.
So here's what I need, guys. Here's
Kyle
what I
Pitts
need.
really came through for you.
Nope, Kyle Pitts still riding the bench like he's supposed to. But shout out to Chris Olave, who really had a great day for me.
Oh, how about Saints playing pretty well? Shuck might be the guy.
Yeah. All right, so I'm in 2 semifinals. In one league, I'm up 23 points, and he has McCaffrey. Sweat of all sweats.
What do you think, Austin? You think he wins or no?
Is it a half point or full point?
Full point. Straight up PPR.
Yeah, go ahead and turn your playbook in, Hamby. It was a good season.
Okay. Well, that's my better shot because in another league, I'm up 1 point with Michael Pittman, and he has Jawan Jennings and Brock Purdy. So I'm cooked. However, if Phillip Rivers could just throw those 5-yard ends and just get him a touchdown, I might have a prayer. I just need a prayer. Just
Who do you have?
I have Pittman.
Okay.
He has Jawan Jennings and Purdy, and I'm up a point.
Yeah, you're probably in trouble.
I'm cooked.
I mean, I feel like the last wide receiver you want right now in that offense is probably Pittman because, he's more of like the long route kind of guy. It takes time
Find
to
a way,
develop.
Phillip, to throw him a fade once they get down to the end zone.
Jet sweeps, Phillip. Jet sweeps to Michael Pittman all day.
Come on, baby.
Hey, let's get another break in here. When we come back, I'll go back to the Jags. We'll get our recycled headlines of the day in as well. I wanted to ask you, Austin, about this, like Walker Little going to right guard. Could that be a little bit of a stay now with McCarry's back, but also some of his inconsistent play? And let's be honest, it does not look like McCarry's played great when the teams are good on the other side. When you get that elevated front, he has not played well. How surprised are you that, like, Benito was a no-show in that game? Is that Anton Harrison? Van Lennon did a good job. Seemed like the tackles did a nice job against the rush. The interior had their way at times. But even Zach Allen didn't have like a major game. Now, they stopped the run. But what did the Jags do so well up front? How good were they up front despite not being able to run and 5 sacks? Because I think the 5 sacks is a bit misleading. Here's some of the numbers Daniel Griffiths writes about on ActionSportsJax.com. And this really comes down to Trevor. Look at that. 14 touchdowns and no turnovers in the last 4 games. Parker Washington had 90 yards after the catch, and it was crafty. I know it was going to missed tackles, but the one on the 3rd down where he goes for 63, it was crafty. It was a nice little catch, whoop, little move, and then 63 yards later, and Monteric Brown continues to play some pretty good football, and he hit Pat Bryant really hard. Good news on Bryant that he is out of the hospital. It's a concussion only, so best thoughts with the young man out of Jacksonville. We'll be right back. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University. Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School. Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School. Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School. Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jags PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jags PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. But you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
There's the QB comparison. Listen, I thought Bo Nix showed some good things. I thought he got a little freaked out at times, too. It did not feel like 352 yards to me, though, either, which is a bit surprising. And, hey, only 2 touchdown drives at the end of the day, and a pretty bad interception at the end. But they were a little bit in desperate mode on 4th down, and certainly wasn't probably the way to go with the football. But Trevor Lawrence continues to be the story, and just an unbelievable stretch of football. And I guess I will ask what the boys asked last night on the post game. Is this, I don't know if it's this Trevor, but is this like the ceiling of Trevor? Like, can you play better than this, Austin?
Yeah. I think he honestly can. Simply because I still think that he's coming and finding his own in this offense. Like, I think this year, and I've spoken this before a lot, this is the first year where it truly seems like that it's his offense. And I'll almost compare it to this. Imagine being a kid and your dad's got like the nice sports car, right? And he throws you the keys and he says, don't wreck the car. Well, how are you going to drive? You're going to be hesitant. You're going to be cautious. You don't want to, like you're nervous. You're nervous to even get a scratch on it. And then all of a sudden, one day when you grow up a little bit, your dad's going to go, hey, son, he throws you the keys again and goes, the car's all yours. Now that you know that it's your car, you almost like, okay, let me go do a burnout in the parking lot. Let me go do this. Let me go cruise for girls. Like, there's a weight that's kind of lifted off your shoulders. And that's what I feel like Trevor Lawrence has been able to go through this year with this Liam Coen offense, where I think whether it's after the bye week, whether it's when Liam Coen told him to let it rip, I think Liam Coen threw Trevor the keys and said, it's yours now, and whatever happens, happens. And I think since then, you've got a completely different quarterback. So to answer your question, I still do think that there is more to take away, and then there's more touchdowns to acquire, just because I don't think we've even seen the full extent yet of what this Liam Coen offense could be.
Yeah, I'm trying to, I can appreciate the comment. I like the analogy too. I'm just like, but what, from a results at least, from a production standpoint, how could it be better? Like, they're scoring 33 points a game over the last 8. Like, what else could it even be? I know you could run the football a little bit more, but if you're running the football a little bit more, maybe you're a little more balanced, you're probably still scoring 33 points a game, right? I mean, they're not going to be a team in the NFL that scores 40 points a game. So I don't. I think being the ceiling is okay. Like, if this is what it's supposed to look like, now the next thing is how long can you do it for, the consistency, week in, week out, all that stuff, which they have been able to do for 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks in a row now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't, like, where, from a production standpoint, I don't know how you get better than this.
But okay, but then what are we talking about here? We're talking about an offense in its first year, in its infancy. We're talking about an offense that had to, I think, died down just a little bit when Jacoby Myers got there. Now they're starting to add some more wrinkles. We're talking about an offensive line that hasn't played together all season, where they've kind of had to mix and match everybody, try to get a flow. Like, I mean, yeah, like on paper right now, they're one of the best offenses in the National Football League. But like, knowing what we know, why wouldn't it be able to get even better with what you've been dealing with this being just a brand new offense to even learn and a scheme to pick up? Like, I think it's okay to set the bar even higher and say, what happens when this team actually plays a lot together? What happens when this offensive line learns each other's nuances? What happens when, they can actually throw the full gambit of this Liam Coen playbook? Then what does it look like?
Yeah, and that's fair. I just don't want to go crazy, but I get what you're saying. I think you're right. And to that point, I want to get to the offensive line in a moment, but I want to ask you this. Who's the go-to guy on the offense then? Right now, because we've seen ETN play really well. The backs have played well in the receiving game. Obviously, Brian Thomas Jr. can beat you down the field. We think Jacoby Myers, they just signed him. He's the kind of the catalyst of this. But then look what Parker Washington just did. So, I mean, if you go to attack this next week, and I understand every game plan is different, and I left out Brenton Strange, by the way. So, like, if you were going to say, hey, next week, you're going to bet on a player to perform well for the Jags against the Colts, who would you even pick?
I mean, to me, it's all about matchup now. And then this is what listen, we don't really know in terms of identity, what the Jaguars are. They going to be a run first team? Is it now Trevor Lawrence's offense? All this stuff. But what we do know is that Liam Coen's going to find the right matchups and try to exploit them, as opposed to being, okay, we have to get Jacoby Myers this many targets. We have to get Brian Thomas Jr. this many targets. Like, that's not what this offense is. And this is what makes this offense so hard to stop, because at any given day, any given Sunday, a guy can pop off. So if you're asking me, like, you're playing the Colts, like, where do they exploit them? I mean, Sauce isn't playing, right? Is he still out?
Yeah, he didn't come back yet. I wonder when he's going to come back. I haven't seen anything on that. I know Buckner's coming back. So, yeah, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
So, I mean, if, once again, I have to, watch the Colts and everything, but if I was going to make a prediction, I think that you're going to try to keep riding the momentum of the long ball, and I think this could be the Brian Thomas Jr. coming out game.
Yeah, maybe it could. And again, there's a beauty of that. I said that going into the game for both teams. I thought that you could see both tight ends actually end up as the leading receivers in this game, because I think that's the way these offenses are built, that you can get a lot from a lot of contributors. At one time, I remember tweeting out, I think it was at halftime, that both quarterbacks had good numbers, and they had thrown to 12 different receivers at that stage of the game. I think Trevor ended up hitting 7 different receivers, and I think at least 5 of those guys had 2+ catches. So that really makes it, I think it makes it challenging for a defense overall to know exactly what to stop. And this is where, again, Liam Coen seems to step ahead. And I had some good conversations with people yesterday about Coen and just how good he is, about feel for the game and kind of the game planning and what goes into it, and how, like, to dissect a certain defense. And they hadn't really seen this defense yet, Austen. Not that the how good it is, I get that, but even the scheme and what Vance Joseph kind of throws at you. I just thought it showed the brilliance again of Coen to, as what he said after the game. It's like, well, we knew they would probably take away Myers and BTJ a little bit, but we figured this would be a good Parker game. I mean, they had stuff planned for Parker Washington, which means to me they had them figured out a little bit. And maybe that wasn't rocket science. I understand that. But it shows you the plan, and they're not going to get stubborn saying, well, we got to throw it to Jakobi Meyers. We got to throw it to Brian Thomas Jr. We got to stuff it in there. And I think that shows Trevor as well trusts a lot around him where he's not saying that. I still think he will stuff one into Jakobi because he trusts him so much. But I remember tweeting right before the half, I think 28 minutes had gone by, and the Jags hadn't even had a reception from Myers yet, and then he hits 2 big plays right before the half that leads to the field goal. So, man, I just think it shows Coen's prowess a little bit, the ability to understand what's going on week to week and to kind of be nimble with that as well. And then in-game, people just really raving about his brilliance of kind of having good feel for what's happening in the middle of the game.
And here's kind of the ironic thing a little bit, too, of Jakobi Meyers, right? Because I spoke on this in terms of, like, does this give the locker room a little added bump when you give Jakobi Meyers, the new contract? Like, will he go out there and even have more of a field day? Well, and I was thinking this as well, like, okay, so you're going to pay him $20 million, right? You just announced a new contract, not towards the end of the season, not after the season, during the season, which is a little, it's out there, but it works. So that if I'm the Broncos, I'm thinking, okay, well, they just announced his new contract. He was on the team for how many weeks? He's getting more money. Well, they're probably going to go to him then, right? Like they're going to make him the number 1 guy now. So we got to put an emphasis on shutting down Jakobi Meyers. Lo and behold, the guy that nobody was really talking about, that I kind of forgot about because we're all focused on the Brian Thomas Jr. against Riley Moss. Can Riley Moss keep up with him? Is Jakobi Meyers the number 1 receiver? Brenton Strange. Parker Washington was almost the afterthought, I feel like, of a lot of conversation going into that Broncos game, and he was the biggest player. So whether it was by design to get Myers more money and get attention on him or not, but the fact of the matter is that the guy that I feel like everybody kind of forgot about in Parker Washington had the biggest effect on this offense on Sunday.
Yeah, it's a good call. Like all those things. I think he's a bit unpredictable, and you don't know where it's going to go. There were about 5 times in that game yesterday. I'm like, okay, he's going to hand it off. He's going to hand it off. Going to hand it off on first down. And he didn't. Just kept throwing. I'm like, damn, man. Like, can you please hand the football off? Like, I almost wanted him to hand it off, and they stayed aggressive. And again, I can't tell you enough how much conversation I've had of just the feel that Liam has. And I'm not sitting here calling him a genius. I just think there's like a little bit of an it factor with Liam when it comes to people. I remember that emotional IQ stuff going all the way back to when he got hired, but even feel for the game that he learned growing up around it with his dad, but also with McVay, where it really took, as he said, he kind of went to graduate school or something, or got his master's degree, I think is the way he said it, when he went to McVay. And he's got that feel for it. And I don't think you know that until you're doing it. That's the other thing that impresses about Liam. He's never done this before. And damn, does he look comfortable doing it, like in every facet, which is pretty amazing. All right, I promise I'll get to the offensive line, but I got one other Trevor question. Do you think people were wrong on Trevor, or do you think just not patient enough on Trevor? In terms of the discourse that was starting to happen, or if people have been off the train for a while. And again, this isn't a question about who's right, who's wrong, all this stuff. I'm just curious, do you think that this shows you got to be a little more patient, especially when you have newness around you, or man, he's just proving people wrong. What do you think?
So I think it's a combination of a couple of things, but I think of when you're the first overall quarterback taken of a draft class, I think that buys you a little shorter amount of time to try to go out there and wow people, right? And And this is the mistake of like, when you're vested in like Joe Burrow or Patrick Mahomes, because you see like when they came in right away, they kind of took the league by storm. And that's what I think a lot of people in their fan bases expect when you get the number 1 overall pick, right? Like Tennessee right now, they expect a lot more from Cam Ward, even though Cam Ward's got really nobody to throw to, the offense is kind of whatever. Like there just comes an expectation where you have maybe like probably 2 or 2.5 years to show, hey, I'm the number 1 overall pick, and here's why. And I feel like when you don't deliver on that, and once again, a lot of things can go into play: coaching, personnel, all this stuff. But I think there's a clock set where if you don't reach a certain milestone by a certain time, then people are going to say, well, was it worth it then?
Yeah, I agree. To that point, Hammy, remember when I said coming out of break, I was like, I had something I was going to get to, and I can't remember it. I just remembered it. And so I was thinking of this weekend, guys. I think it's really a cool thing. And this was before the Jags game. But I think it's a cool thing that Trevor, found Liam, or Liam found Trevor, or the Jags found Liam for Trevor, or whatever it is. That Bryce Young quarterback who had some trials and tribulations, got benched, came back. Seems like he's playing really good football overall. I haven't really watched much of him, but he's playing good football. I think you take give me some other examples here of the young quarterbacks. Drake May. He's in a really good spot with Josh McDaniels. I'm not going with the familiar names, by the way. I'm not talking about the Burrows and the Allens and the Jacksons and those guys, Mahomes, that have done it. I'm talking about these young quarterbacks who are in a different class than the guys that have reinvented their career, like Baker and Sam Darnold and others. But you've got those three, and I feel like I had another one on top of Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just take those 4 guys. So you've got guys that are highly touted, obviously talented enough to be picked very high, and they are in good situations right now. Kind of goes back to the whole McConnell or O'Connell, organizations fail young quarterbacks. Well, right now they are in good situations where their talent is being shown. And Trevor's on that list. Bryce Young's on that list to me. Caleb Williams, look at some of the stuff he's doing. He's on that list with Ben Johnson. And Drake May, of course, in year 2 is doing that too. And maybe Bo Nix, by the way, with Sean Payton. So I think it's an unbelievably good thing for the league, Austin, that you have this great quarterbacks that already exist with MVPs and Super Bowls and stuff. But you have this next crop that now you're starting to see the talent. And sure, you might get some busts still, like the Tuas of the world that might just not work out. But now you have this next crop that's going to approach their mid-20s or even into their later 20s and look like they're in a nice position to get the most out of their talent and be the talk of the league.
No, for sure. I just think it goes in hand now where the conversation's got to be, if you do draft a first-round quarterback or a number 1 overall quarterback, if you don't have everything in place for him to be successful, to get a true sample size, do you even put him out there? Right? Because I think in terms of mentality, I think in terms of just the psychological standpoint, that's probably the most important thing of a quarterback. And if you put him out there and he doesn't succeed right away, or he doesn't have a lot to feed from, do you do him a disservice? Like with Tua, okay, Tua's to the point now where I feel like you kind of know what Tua is. And granted, he had a great year where he led the NFL in passing, right? So I think that bought him a little bit more on the resume. But I don't think teams are going to be lining up now to get Tua Tagovailoa if he becomes, a free agent or he gets traded. Like, no one's really going about him because you kind of know what you see with him, right? I think Kyler Murray is a good example where, he was thrust into a role and he played some pretty good football. He might have been in like the Rookie of the Year contention, or he might have even won. I can't remember. But now it's like you kind of know what Kyler Murray is. With Trevor, it was, you saw so much like brilliance, but then you saw so much bad. So instead of like it being like Tua, where it's like, okay, he's got Tyreek Hill to throw to, it's good, but like you kind of know what you're getting. You didn't really know what you had with Trevor. You saw the good, but then you saw the really bad as well. So I think it just leads going forward where if you're a team, you got to make sure that all the pieces are in place to have a successful quarterback, because if you don't, and it's maybe like a Cam Ward situation, I mean, who knows what Cam Ward's going to be right now? But I don't think Titans fans are necessarily really confident because, well, he doesn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to be either. I'm actually doing this little experiment right now. I'm going through the teams, and I'm putting them in 3 tiers. So you get your tier where it's like, hey, you're proven, man. Like you're Matthew Stafford or you're even Aaron Rodgers, but you're Lamar Jackson. You got MVPs, you got Super Bowls, you've done it for years in the league. And I mean, you start going. That's one tier. The next tier is okay. There are a bunch of quarterbacks that look like they can play at that level. They've given us some samples, and right now they might be thriving. Because I probably should throw C.J. Stroud in this category too. I think he seems like he's found it a little bit now toward this part of the season. He also showed it early in his career, and the bottom line is he's winning football games, and they're winning the AFC South year after year, or 10 games at least year after year. And then there's this other category where it's like you just don't know. From the Jets to the Dolphins to the Browns to the Titans to the Raiders. But that's 5 teams out of 16 in the AFC where you don't really know. But you also have the Bills where you know. The Steelers, I'm going to put in this category with Aaron Rodgers for now, just for today, because he's kind of in that elite category from his career. The Ravens and the Bengals, they know. I'm not putting the Jags in here yet. The Chiefs, they know. And I would say, where do you go? Herbert, I'm not sure where he fits because it feels like you know, but he hasn't done some of the things the others done, like MVPs or Super Bowls. So, but I'll put him in that category maybe anyway because you know who he is as a quarterback, I feel like.
Yeah, but see, this is why stuff got taken out of context with Trevor Lawrence. Like, I don't think Justin Herbert's Joe Burrow. Like, Joe Burrow was by far the most sacked quarterback, and I forgot what year it was when they went to the Super Bowl, but he was the most sacked quarterback by I think it was 8 or 9. Like, you're not supposed to be a young quarterback and be able to go to a Super Bowl like that.
Yeah.
Right? But I think Burrow showed that he was special. That year that Patrick Mahomes won the MVP, went to the Super Bowl when they had by far the most drops in the NFL because he's thrown to like Marquez Valdez-Scantling and everything. Like, that wasn't supposed to happen, right? So there's definitely anomalies in terms of, okay, well, sometimes, you can play above, being the most sacked quarterback in the NFL. You can play above having the most, dropped passes, become an MVP and still win a Super Bowl. Like, there's the anomalies there. But I'm not going to put Herbert in that category. Just like when I spoke on Trevor Lawrence at the time, and now maybe it might change eventually, but like, I'm not going to put Trevor Lawrence in that category. Like, I think if Trevor Lawrence was the most sacked quarterback right now in the NFL, I'm not sure if he could will the Jaguars to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay, so I like what you're saying there. So I've got 4 quarterbacks in that top tier, and this is just the AFC, with Burrow, Josh Allen. I did put Rodgers in because of his resume, at least for currently sitting, and Lamar Jackson. And then I've got the second tier is C.J. Stroud, Trevor, Drake May, Herbert, and Bo Nix. And then there are 6 teams, by the way, where I think they don't know their answer. You got the Jets, you got Indy, you got the Titans, you got the Browns, and you got the Raiders. And I think I missed the Dolphins. I think they don't know their answer. So my point in this conversation is not that the league needs more good stuff to happen. They're doing fine. But we're in a spot that this is a league that's really hard to find good quarterbacks for decades and decades. There's a chance that after this season, you would say there are 9 quarterbacks in the National Football League that you would buy into being an MVP candidate in 2026. In the AFC. In the AFC. 9 out of the 16 teams. Holy crap, man. Like, that is good stuff.
You included Stroud?
I put Stroud in there because we've seen it at a high level, and it looks like he's finding his way. Listen, I'm not the biggest of fans of Stroud, but the reality is, if we're being honest, he's playing pretty good football overall the last month since he came back.
He played great yesterday.
I know, but he also has I'm not going to just knock a guy. All of a sudden, if Trevor plays a bad game next week, you can't just be like, oh, he sucks again.
Right.
Like, we can't do that, okay? We got to get through the mud on some of this. This is a week-to-week deal, and you're not going to be perfect for 17 games. But my point on the Stroud stuff is I give Trevor the benefit of the doubt when he has changes at OC and different voices. Well, Stroud, we got to give a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. He's in a new offense this year. So I'll give him that benefit of the doubt. He's proven that he can play at an elite level. So I'll put him in that second tier and say, are you kidding me? Like, with that defense, he couldn't go put up like 35 touchdowns and 10 picks and be in the MVP conversation next year? I would say, heck, Brent, he can be.
Brent, let me ask you, because I don't think you mentioned this guy, and I think he deserves a little mentioning just because his team is playing for a division right now and maybe one of the best teams in the NFC that nobody talks about. Do you think Brock Purdy? Where do you have Brock Purdy on this list?
I would put him in the number 2 tier. I just didn't do the NFC.
Okay.
Austin,
I
had
got
those
you.
9 guys. That was just in the AFC. Like, if you really go to the NFC now, you've got Hurts in the elite category. You've got Prescott in the elite category. I'm not going there with Jaden Daniels until he stays healthy. The Giants don't have it either. Chicago now goes in that category with the second tier. The Packers already have it, I think, more second tier. Goff has proven to be in the category. The Vikings don't have it to me. I'm putting Bryce Young in that second tier category at the moment, the way he's played the last couple of seasons. Baker Mayfield, he's an interesting one to me. But
got to be in the second.
I guess he's in that second
tier.
tier.
Stroud is, yeah.
Falcons don't have it, and I'm not ready to go there with the Saints. The Rams definitely have it. The 49ers, Purdy, I put in there. Arizona doesn't. And Seattle, I'm not sure where you go with Darnold on this. Like, it's a weird one, but
you have to.
Second tier?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I would put it second tier. And honestly, Brissett, since he's taken over, like, if you look at just strictly the numbers of Jacoby Brissett, and once again, playing without his number 1 wide receiver. I mean, Harrison was in yesterday sparingly, but like for the numbers that Brissett has been able to put up with, a guy in Mike Wilson no one's ever really heard of before, like, I think that deserves some honorable mention. Now, is he the guy going forward for the Cardinals? Maybe not, but I think Brissett's playing pretty good.
I'm going to be conservative with this conversation and say somewhere between 18 and 20 quarterbacks fit my tier 1 and tier 2 mold out of 32, which would give them a chance to at least be in like, hey, you can win like a Super Bowl with this guy.
A month ago, we said the quarterback play sucks this year.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it does now, especially. And these guys in that second tier are the ones that can boost it. You're always going to have the bottom of the barrel stuff. Like finding the quarterback is always going to be tricky. So, but man, it might be. We could go into 2026 thinking it's the best quarterback like we've ever seen from a depth standpoint in the National Football League. Is it the best it's ever been elite-wise? That's hard to say, right? You had Brady, Manning, and Mahomes all playing at the same time recently. Mahomes and Manning were playing, I don't think, at the same time, but at least at an elite level. But you had Rodgers playing great, all these other guys. I don't think we're there. Maybe we are. I don't think we're there, but I think depth-wise we might be there. All right, one last thought before we get you out of here and we get out. Offensive line. Did you think they played okay yesterday? And what did you think of Walker Little at right guard?
Yeah, so I think offensive line, I mean, all things considered, they gave up, 5 sacks it was yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Broncos were averaging, I think it was like 4.7 or something sacks per game. So it's kind of right on trend. Listen, and I get Hamby, isn't the biggest believer in the Denver's defense. And I get it. I mean, the Jaguars put up some points against them, but they still might have, if not the second best defensive line in the entire NFL. And what I was worried about more than anything was that noise mixed with their pass rush, because they do a great job of running games, running picks, blitzing and everything. And you saw a little bit of that. But overall, Brent, I thought, like, all things considered in that hostile environment, I thought the offensive line did a decent job, right? Like, they couldn't really run the football, okay, and that might be a problem going forward. You might want to correct that a little bit because you still want to be dominant in the trenches. But I think all things considered, I think it was a pretty decent showing. And I know, Hamby, we did an exercise last week where I told you to clip a video where you said something profound. You might want to get that clip ready maybe for this week. It's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
I don't remember that one. You might have to text me after the show.
Yeah, text him. I want to be surprised.
Hang on. I'll just say right now. So I think, the exercise was, obviously Jacoby Myers got paid. Is there anybody else this year that might get a contract during the season? Yeah, there you go.
You're hearing what I'm hearing. Okay, good.
There you go.
Anyway, hey, good stuff. I'll leave you with this stat, guy. Yeah, I thought the offensive line, by the way, did a better job than the stats might indicate in that environment, to Austin's point, and in the game, to allow their quarterback to at least operate. And then he had to do some stuff on his own, too. But, yeah, I thought it was better than it might have looked statistically. Dan Orlovsky just tweeted this. Trevor Lawrence QBR on third down in the last 3 games. 99.9, 99.9, 96.5. 100 is perfect, by the way. 15.3 yards per attempt, 21.9 yards per completion. You are so often defined by the money downs as an offense, as a quarterback, as a play caller. Jaguars right now are really hot in that department on third down and also in the red zone. All right, man, go have a good day in Colorado, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, man. See you guys tomorrow.
All right. Say hello to the Broncos fans for all of us. Brent Martineau, Austen Lane, Jason Hamby, and we will see you tonight from String Sports Brewery. Jags Report Live. Jarian Jones and Tyler Shatley are going to join us. Should be a fun show. Hope you can come out in Jax Beach. And remember, tomorrow, Jax Beach for Jaguars All Access on a special Tuesday and also a different location. We're going back to the Jax Beach location for this one show. So Monday, Tuesday, out at Strings. Hope we see you there. Have a great Monday, everybody. I know you will. And happy holidays. One more show for the week tomorrow. Although now Hamby wants me to add another one, maybe later in the week. So we'll see where it goes. But we'll be back tomorrow, no doubt about it. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service. A meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing is taking their 75-plus years of expertise and expanding to CGC Home Services. Water treatment and plumbing is still a big part of what they do, and now they can do even more for you. Home services like kitchen and bathroom remodeling, showers, sinks, faucets, toilet repair, backflow testing, and the list keeps going. Find all they can do at cgchomeservices.com or give them a call, 904-298-70